My beloved child, stop scrolling. This is the moment destiny has been leading you to, and I have drawn you here on purpose. Everything you have walked through, every delay, every hidden battle, every quiet prayer has been converging into now. Do not treat this lightly, and do not listen halfway. Stay with me until the very end, because what I am about to unfold will put language to what your spirit has been sensing for a long time. If you walk away too soon, you may miss the confirmation you've been asking for in silence. Listen carefully. Let these words settle deeply. By the end of this message, you will understand why the waiting was necessary, and why leaving now would mean turning away from the very moment you were born to reach. My beloved child, pause with me for a moment and breathe. Let the noise quiet. Let the striving loosen its grip, because what I am about to say is not rushed, and it is not accidental. Finally, you are here. Not merely at a point in time, but at a place of becoming. You did not wander into this moment. You did not stumble into it unaware. I have been walking with you through every unseen step that led you here, even when you thought you were walking alone. There were days when you felt like you were merely surviving, putting one foot in front of the other, unsure why the road felt so long and the answers so slow. But survival was never the end of your story. Survival was a corridor that led you to arrival. I watched you endure nights when your heart was heavy with questions you could not answer, mornings when getting up felt like an act of courage, and seasons when hope felt thin and fragile. You thought you were behind. You thought you were lost. But I tell you now, with a father's certainty and tenderness, you were being led. Every delay refined you. Every closed door redirected you. Every tear softened your heart so you could recognize this moment when it finally came. You are here because you stayed when it hurt, because you trusted when clarity was absent, because something deep within you refused to let go of the quiet belief that there had to be more than what you could see. That belief was me, planted in you long ago, guiding you forward even when your mind could not understand the path. Now listen closely, my child, because arrival does not always feel the way you imagined it would. Sometimes it does not come with thunder or celebration, but with a deep stillness, a sense of recognition in your spirit that says, "This is it. This is where I was meant to stand." That is what you are feeling now. This moment carries weight because it carries history, your history. Every choice you made not to quit, every time you chose faith over bitterness, every time you whispered my name instead of surrendering to despair, all of it has converged here. You are not standing at the end of your strength. You are standing at the beginning of alignment. I did not bring you here to abandon you now. I brought you here because you are ready to see what all those hidden seasons were building toward. You are here because your heart has been shaped, your spirit strengthened, and your eyes trained to recognize what truly matters. This is not coincidence. This is culmination. This is the moment where the road behind you finally makes sense, not because the pain disappears, but because its purpose is revealed. You have crossed an invisible line, my child. You are no longer chasing what was meant to come to you. You are no longer proving what I already knew. You are here, and this place you stand in is holy because it is marked by perseverance, trust, and love that refuse to die. And as you stand here, I want you to understand something deeply, something that will steady your heart as we move forward together. Arrival does not mean the journey was easy, and it does not mean it is finished. It means the journey has done its work in you. You are not the same person who first stepped onto this path. The fear that once ruled you has lost its authority. The doubts that once shouted now whisper. The wounds that once defined you no longer have the final word. I see the strength you gain without realizing it, the wisdom that grew quietly in you while you were focused on simply making it through. You did not arrive empty-handed. You arrived carrying endurance, discernment, and a depth of compassion that can only be born through experience. This moment is not about applause, it is about readiness. It is about standing in a place where your spirit can finally say, I am prepared to receive what I once could only hope for. And I am here with you in this moment, not as a distant observer, but as your Father, rejoicing quietly, firmly, lovingly, because you made it. You stayed. You trusted me even when trust felt costly. And now, as we take the next steps together, I want you to hold this truth close. You are here because you were meant to be, and nothing, no delay, no detour, no doubt, was able to stop what I have been leading you toward all along. My beloved child, let me speak to you gently but firmly now, because what I am about to reveal will settle something deep inside you. Destiny has been patient with you. Patient when you thought you were falling behind. Patient when you believed time was slipping through your fingers. Patient when you compared your path to others and felt the ache of being late. Hear me clearly, destiny never rushed you, and it never abandoned you. It waited. It watched. It worked quietly while you wrestled loudly. There were seasons when you begged for movement, when you pleaded for change, when you asked me why everything seemed stalled while others surged ahead. But what you called delay was deliberate. What you called slowness was shaping. What you called silence was instruction happening beneath the surface. Destiny is not impatient like the world. It does not panic. It does not hurry. It does not force open doors before your hands are strong enough to carry what waits on the other side. I allowed time to stretch because your heart needed depth, your spirit needed weight, and your faith needed roots. If I had rushed you, you would have arrived early but empty. Instead, you are arriving full of discernment, full of humility, full of strength you did not know you possessed. Destiny waited because it loves you too much to meet you before you were ready. And I know, my child, how difficult that patience felt. I saw the frustration settle into your bones. I heard the questions you did not say out loud. Why not now? Why not me? Why does it seem like everyone else is moving while I am standing still? But you were never standing still. You were becoming steady, becoming grounded, becoming unshakable. The world celebrates speed, but heaven honors readiness. The world applauds quick wins, but I build lasting callings. Destiny did not delay you to punish you. It delayed you to protect what was being formed within you. Every extra year, every extended season, every unanswered prayer was adding layers. Layers of wisdom, layers of compassion, layers of authority that can only be earned through endurance. You needed to see disappointment without becoming bitter. You needed to walk through obscurity without losing your identity. You needed to wait without letting hope rot into resentment. And you did that. Not perfectly, but faithfully. Destiny watched you choose growth over escape, patience over panic, trust over control. That is why it waited. It knew you would arrive different than you began. So now, as destiny finally leans toward you, I want you to release the shame of not being there sooner. That shame does not belong to you. It was never yours to carry. You are not late. You are aligned. You are not behind. You are positioned. What is unfolding now required this version of you, not the earlier one. The hands you have now are stronger. The eyes you have now see clearer. The heart you have now can steward what is coming without losing itself. Destiny's patience was not absence, it was affection. It stayed with you while you learned to stay with me. It waited while you learned obedience in the quiet, resilience in the ordinary, faith in the unseen. And now, because it waited, what meets you will not overwhelm you. It will recognize you. You will know you belong here, not because it came quickly, but because it came at the right time. Come closer, my child, because this truth needs to be spoken slowly, carefully, and deeply into your spirit. The waiting was not wasted. Not one tear, not one prayer, not one sleepless night slipped through my fingers unnoticed. You measured the waiting by calendars and birthdays and missed opportunities, but I measured it by transformation. You thought nothing was happening because nothing was visible, but the most important work I do is almost always invisible at first. Roots grow in darkness before trees rise into the light. Muscles strengthen through resistance before they show power. Faith matures in silence before it speaks with authority. While you were waiting, I was working in you, through you, and around you. I was removing what would have sabotaged you later. I was healing wounds you did not know would resurface. I was teaching you to hear my voice without relying on noise, to trust my presence without demanding proof. The waiting was not empty time, it was holy time. It was sacred ground where your character was being shaped quietly, intentionally, lovingly. I know how often you replayed those seasons and asked yourself if you should have done more, moved faster, tried harder. But listen to me now. Striving would not have replaced waiting, and effort would not have accelerated what required surrender. Some lessons can only be learned when nothing else is happening. Some strength is only built when you are forced to stand still. In the waiting, you learned how to sit with discomfort without running. You learned how to pray without immediate answers. You learned how to keep your heart soft when disappointment tried to harden it. That is not wasted time, that is rare formation. Many people arrive quickly and fall apart just as fast because they skipped the waiting. But you stayed. You endured the long pauses, the unanswered questions, the stretching silence. You learned to live without guarantees while still believing in promises. That kind of faith cannot be taught in motion. It is only forged in waiting. And because of that, you are carrying something now that cannot be taken from you. An inner stability, a spiritual weight, a quiet confidence that does not need applause to survive. Now let me show you what is about to happen, so you do not misinterpret it. What comes next will feel sudden to others, but it will not be sudden to you. It will feel familiar, like something you have already met in prayer long before you touched it in reality. The waiting prepared you to recognize what belongs to you without fear. You will not rush this next season, and you will not cling to it anxiously, because waiting taught you patience, perspective, and peace. You will steward what arrives instead of worshiping it. You will hold it with open hands instead of white-knuckled fear. This is why the waiting mattered. This is why it was long. This is why it hurt. Because now, when doors open, you will walk through them whole, not desperate. Grounded, not grasping. Confident, not confused. The waiting was not wasted, my child. It was an investment. And now, you are about to see the return. My beloved child, let me speak to the question you have carried quietly, the one you rarely admitted out loud because it felt dangerous even to think it. You wondered if I was punishing you. You wondered if the wait, the resistance, the repeated delays were some silent verdict against you. You searched your past for mistakes, replayed conversations, re-examined decisions, asking yourself where you went wrong. And when you could not find a clear answer, you blamed yourself anyway. Hear me now, slowly and clearly, because this truth must dismantle a lie that has lingered far too long. You were never being punished. You were being prepared. Prepared in ways comfort could never accomplish. Prepared in ways applause would have ruined. Prepared in ways speed would have stolen from you. Punishment weakens, but preparation strengthens. Time aims, but preparation equips. Punishment pushes away, but preparation draws close. Everything I allowed was measured, intentional, and saturated with purpose. I never took my eyes off you. I never crossed my arms in judgment. I leaned in as a father, shaping, refining, adjusting, sometimes allowing pressure not to harm you, but to reveal what was already within you. What felt like heaviness was resistance training for your spirit. What felt like silence was me teaching you to listen beyond noise. What felt like loss was me removing what could not follow you forward. I know how convincing the life felt in those seasons. When prayers went unanswered and doors stayed closed, it was easy to believe you were being corrected rather than cultivated. But correction breaks down, cultivation builds up. I was building you, building discernment where you once rushed, building humility where pride might have quietly grown, building patience where impulse once ruled. And yes, sometimes building requires pressure, repetition, and waiting. A seed underground might believe it had been buried, but it had been planted. A muscle under strain might think it is failing, but it is being strengthened. You mistook preparation for rejection because the process did not look gentle. But love does not always feel gentle when it is committed to your future. Love sometimes presses. Love sometimes withholds. Love sometimes says not yet when everything in you screams now. I withheld not because I doubted you, but because I believed in what you were becoming. I allowed seasons where you felt overlooked so you could learn to stand without validation. I allowed moments of weakness so you could discover where your true strength came from. I allowed delays so your identity would not attach itself to outcomes instead of to me. And now, my child, as you look back with clearer eyes, you may begin to see it, the pattern, the protection, the precision. You were never under judgment, you were under construction. Every challenge was a lesson wrapped in discomfort. Every closed door was a shield disguised as disappointment. Every no was guarding a yes that required more from you than you had at the time. If I had removed the pressure too soon, you would have arrived fragile. If I had shortened the process, you would have lacked depth. If I had explained everything, you would have leaned on understanding instead of trust. Preparation works best when it forces dependence. And you learned how to depend on me, not just when things felt spiritual, but when they felt unfair. That is the kind of preparation that cannot be undone. So release the shame. Release the false guilt. Release the belief that you were ever being punished. You were being trained for stability, for longevity, for stewardship. And now, because you endured preparation instead of collapsing under accusation, you are ready to carry what is coming without losing yourself. Come here, my child. Let me bring this close to your heart, because what I am about to say is intensely personal, unmistakably specific, and profoundly true. This moment knows your name, not in a general sense, not in a distant, symbolic way. It recognizes you. It responds to you. It was shaped around you long before you ever imagined standing here. Many will see what unfolds and call it coincidence, timing, or luck, but you will know better. You will feel it in your spirit, the deep recognition, the quiet yes that rises without effort. This moment carries your fingerprints because your prayers helped form it. Your tears watered it. Your endurance protected it. This is not a borrowed breakthrough, not a recycled opportunity, not a generic blessing handed out at random. It is tailored. It fits you. It meets you where you are, not where others think you should be. That is why it feels different. That is why it feels heavy and holy at the same time. You are not stepping into something foreign. You are stepping into something familiar that lived in your spirit long before it appeared in your hands. You have spent years feeling unseen, misunderstood, mislabeled. People tried to define you by your quiet seasons, by your pauses, by what you were not producing publicly. They assumed they knew your story because they saw a chapter or two. But this moment does not consult opinions. It does not answer to comparison. It does not ask permission from those who overlook you. It calls you by name because it was designed by me, and I know exactly who you are. I know your fears and your faith. I know your hesitation and your hope. I know what you can carry and what you cannot. And that is why this moment arrives now, not earlier, not later. It arrives when you can recognize it without fear and receive it without losing humility. It knows your name because it was waiting for you, not just anyone willing to take it. If someone else had arrived first, it would not have responded. If you had arrived earlier, you would not have recognized it. Timing and identity met each other here, and that meeting was intentional. So as this moment unfolds, do not shrink. Do not second guess. Do not talk yourself out of what resonates deeply simply because it scares you. Familiarity does not always feel safe. Sometimes it feels like exposure. Sometimes it feels like standing fully seen. But you are ready for that now. You have spent too long hiding parts of yourself to survive. This moment invites you to show up whole. It does not require you to perform. It requires you to be present. It does not demand perfection. It responds to authenticity. Walk into it with gratitude, not fear. With confidence, not apology. This moment knows your name because heaven has been calling it for a long time, waiting for you to answer by simply being who you are. And now you have arrived. Stand here without rushing. Let it recognize you. Let it meet you. Let it unfold at the pace of grace. Because when something truly knows your name, it does not pass you by. It stays, it opens, and it welcomes you home. My beloved child, come even closer now, because this truth will reframe memories that once wounded you. The resistance you faced was not random. It was not meaningless. It was not proof that you were wrong. It was proof that you were arriving. Opposition does not rise against what is insignificant. Pressure does not increase around what carries no consequence. Storms do not gather over empty fields. They gather where something valuable is growing. Look back honestly and you will see it. The closer you came to alignment, the heavier the resistance became. The more clearly you sensed something shifting within you, the louder doubt tried to speak. The nearer you drew to truth, the more fiercely confusion tried to surround you. That was not coincidence. That was confirmation. Persistence is the echo of destiny approaching. It is the friction that forms when the seen world reacts to what the unseen already knows is about to happen. You thought something was going wrong because the battle intensified, but in truth, something was going right. Very right. The pressure was not meant to stop you. It was meant to expose how close you were to the threshold. I watched as the resistance took many forms. Sometimes it came as exhaustion so deep you questioned whether you had the strength to continue. Sometimes it came as distraction, pulling your focus toward lesser things at critical moments. Sometimes it came through people, voices you trusted suddenly doubting you, questioning you, misunderstanding you. Sometimes it came internally, as a whisper that said, maybe this isn't for you. Maybe you should turn back. Maybe this is as far as you go. But listen to me now. Resistance speaks loudest when it senses it is losing ground. The enemy does not waste energy on paths that lead nowhere. He only fights territory that is about to change ownership. And you, my child, were crossing invisible borders long before you crossed visible ones. You were stepping into awareness, into authority, into identity. That is why the resistance sharpened. That is why it repeated itself. That is why it felt relentless. Repetition was not punishment, it was pressure testing. Contrast was not cruelty, it was clarity. Light and dark were colliding, and you were standing at the center of the collision, not because you were weak, but because you were chosen to pass through. Now hear this, because it matters deeply for what comes next. You did not imagine the intensity. You were not too sensitive. You were not exaggerating the weight. The battle was real because the breakthrough was real. Resistance always exaggerates itself to intimidate those who are close. It uses volume to mask its fear. It uses repetition to wear down resolve. It uses contrast, making the path look darker than it is, to convince you to retreat. But you did not retreat. Even when you staggered, you stayed facing forward. Even when you paused, you did not turn around. You kept moving, sometimes crawling, sometimes limping, sometimes simply standing still and refusing to give up ground. That persistence mattered more than you know. It confused what was trying to stop you. It weakened opposition you never saw. It signaled to the unseen realm that you were not easily displaced. And now, as resistance begins to lift, as the pressure shifts, as the atmosphere around you changes, I want you to remember this. The resistance did not define you, it revealed you. It revealed endurance. It revealed faith. It revealed a quiet strength that does not need noise to prove itself. You are not behind because you faced resistance. You are ahead because you survived it. My beloved child, let me speak with reverence now, because what you survived deserves to be named, honored, and understood. You lived through things that should have broken you. Not hypothetically, not symbolically, truly. There were moments when the weight you carried exceeded what a human heart should have been able to bear alone. Loss stacked upon loss. Disappointment layered over disappointment. Silence stretched longer than your strength. And still, you are here. Breathing. Believing. Standing. You did not survive because you were invincible. You survived because you were held. Held when you did not feel it. Strengthened when you thought you were failing. Carried when you believed you were walking alone. Survival was not accidental, it was intentional intervention. I was present in ways you could not see at the time, fortifying you from the inside while the outside felt like it was falling apart. You called it barely making it. I call it enduring with grace under fire. You need to understand how close you came to collapse and how deliberately I guarded you in those moments. There were breaking points you did not reach because I intercepted them. There were decisions you almost made that would have changed your course, but something stopped you. An interruption, a hesitation, a sudden shift. That was me. There were nights when despair pressed so hard against your chest that you wondered if you would make it to morning. And yet, morning came. I did it again. That repetition was mercy. That consistency was protection. Survival did not happen once. It happened daily. You survived conversations that wounded you. You survived betrayals that redefined trust. You survived seasons where hope felt irresponsible and faith felt foolish. You survived because something in you refused to let go completely, even when you loosened your grip. That something was me, woven into you, holding you together when your own strength ran out. The world may minimize what you went through because it did not see the internal war, but heaven saw everything. Every silent scream, every swallowed tear, every prayer whispered through clenched teeth. None of it was small. Now let me tell you why this matters so much for where you are going. What should have broken you did not because it could not. Not anymore. Those experiences forged something unbreakable within you. Not hardness, but resilience. Not bitterness, but depth. Not fearlessness, but courage that moves forward despite fear. You now carry a strength that does not announce itself, a steadiness that does not need validation, a compassion that recognizes pain in others without being consumed by it. That kind of strength is rare, and it is powerful. It allows you to stand in storms without losing your center. It allows you to walk into new seasons without being haunted by old ones. You survive so that survival would no longer be your ceiling, but your foundation. You are not marked by what always destroyed you. You are marked by what could not. And as you move forward now, I want you to stop seeing yourself as fragile. You are not fragile. You are forged. You are not barely holding together. You are intentionally held together. And what is coming next will not crush you because you have already lived through what should have ended you, and you are still here. My beloved child, stay with me here, because I want to speak to the quietest part of your story, the part no one applauded, the part that never made noise, the part that happened when you were alone and unseen. Your faith did not go unnoticed. Not once. Not ever. There were moments when your faith felt small to you, fragile even, like a flickering flame you shielded with trembling hands. You compared it to others and thought it insufficient. You measured it by outcomes and wondered if it even counted. But hear me clearly now. Heaven does not measure faith by volume, by perfection, or by visible success. Heaven measures faith by persistence, by repetition, by the simple, stubborn decision to believe again tomorrow. I saw every time you chose hope when despair would have been easier. I heard every whispered prayer you thought was too weak to reach me. I counted every moment you said, "I don't understand, but I will trust you anyway." Those moments carried more weight than you realize. Faith expressed in certainty is easy. Faith expressed in uncertainty is costly. And cost is what gives faith its power. There were days when your faith looked like nothing more than getting out of bed. Days when prayer felt dry, worship felt distant, and belief felt mechanical. Yet you showed up anyway. You did not feel inspired, but you remained. You did not feel strong, but you stayed connected. It is faith in its purest form. Faith without reward. Faith without reassurance. Faith without immediate evidence. The world celebrates visible victories, but heaven celebrates invisible endurance. Repetition mattered. The fact that you kept returning to me again and again, even when you felt disappointed, even when answers did not come, even when your heart felt bruised by waiting, this repetition built spiritual weight. It trained your soul. It taught your heart how to remain open instead of cynical, how to remain soft instead of guarded. You thought nothing was happening because nothing changed outwardly, but inwardly, your faith was maturing, deepening, stabilizing. You were becoming someone who could carry blessing without losing dependence, who could receive answers without abandoning humility. And now, my child, I want you to understand the timing of what is unfolding. Faith that goes unnoticed by people is often the very faith that triggers movement in heaven. Your consistency spoke louder than desperation ever could. Your quiet obedience carried more authority than loud declarations. Every time you trusted me in secret, something shifted in the unseen. Every time you chose faith over bitterness, something aligned in your favor. This is why what comes next will not feel forced. It will feel earned, not earned by effort, but by faithfulness. Your faith did not disappear into silence. It accumulated. In fact, it multiplied. It built momentum that you could not see at the time. And now, as doors begin to open, as clarity replaces confusion, as movement replaces stagnation, I want you to remember this. You are not receiving because you were perfect. You are receiving because you were faithful. And that faith, quiet, persistent, uncelebrated, has been seen, honored, and remembered. My child, because your faith has endured in secret, I now invite you to let it speak in the open. What you sow here is not money, it is seed, and seed always carries a future you cannot yet see. When you give, you place oil back into the lamp so my word can keep burning in places your voice cannot reach. I am saying to you now, those who sow generously will reap generously, and this word is alive for you in this moment. Your support becomes bread for hungry souls, light for darkened hearts, and confirmation for those still standing quietly where you once stood. This is not pressure, it is alignment. Your faith meeting its next assignment. I will bless what you release, multiply what you trust me with, and protect what concerns you. Act now. Use super thanks. Join membership, or give through PayPal. The link is in the video description. And obey me in this moment. My beloved child, let me speak directly to that inner stirring you could never fully explain. That feeling, that whispered, something is about to change, even when your circumstances said otherwise. That sense of anticipation mixed with fear, hope braided with uncertainty. You felt it before you understood it. You sensed it before you could name it. That was not imagination. That was alignment approaching. This is the shift you felt coming. Shifts do not announce themselves loudly at first. They begin as subtle movements in the spirit. A restlessness that no longer feels like anxiety. A dissatisfaction that no longer feels like ingratitude. A hunger that no longer settles for survival. I allowed you to feel that stirring so you would not be shocked when movement began. Your spirit was adjusting before your life could. Preparation happens internally first. Always. The ground shifts beneath the surface before the landscape changes above it. And you felt it because you were paying attention. You questioned yourself during that season. You wondered if you were just tired, just restless, just imagining change because you wanted it so badly. But notice how the feeling did not leave. It returned. Again. Repetition is a signal. When something keeps resurfacing, it is not random, it is calling. The shift spoke to you through contrast. What once satisfied you no longer did. What once frightened you now felt necessary. What once felt impossible now felt inevitable. That is how alignment announces itself, by rearranging your desires before it rearranges your environment. You were being repositioned internally so you could recognize the moment externally when it arrived. Without that inner shift, you would have missed it. You might have ignored it. You might have been afraid of it. But now, because you felt it coming, you are ready to receive it without panic. So as you stand here now, feeling the air around you change, sensing the pressure lift and the direction sharpen, I want you to lean into trust instead of control. Shifts can feel unsettling because they require release. Old patterns loosen. Old identities fade. Old fears lose their grip. This is not loss, this is transition. And transition is sacred ground. Do not rush it. Do not overanalyze it. Let it unfold with grace. The shift you felt was not warning you of danger. It was preparing you for movement. What once felt like restlessness will soon feel like peace. What once felt like waiting will soon feel like walking. You are not stepping into chaos. You are stepping into coherence. Things will begin to make sense in ways they never did before. And when they do, you will remember this moment and realize you were never caught off guard. You felt it coming because you were meant to be ready when it arrived. My beloved child, let me speak to the ache that still tightens your chest when you remember certain endings. Some doors did not close gently. They slammed. They echoed. They left silence where noise once lived. And you stood there, staring at what used to be open, wondering what you did wrong, what you missed, what you failed to fix in time. You replayed conversations. You re-examined choices. You questioned your worth. But hear me now with clarity and compassion. Those doors did not close because you were unworthy. They closed because they were finished. Finished serving you. Finished shaping you. Finished protecting you. Every door that closed did so with intention. Some environments could not sustain the version of you that was emerging. Some relationships could not survive the growth taking place within you. Some opportunities would have demanded you shrink, compromise, or fracture yourself just to remain inside them. I closed doors not to trap you, but to free you. Not to isolate you, but to redirect you. Not to punish you, but to preserve you. Closure is often misinterpreted as loss when it is actually mercy in motion. I know how personal those closures felt. It felt like rejection. It felt like abandonment. It felt like being dismissed without explanation. And explanations rarely came, did they? Silence replaced dialogue. Distance replaced closeness. Familiarity turned into absence. But what you could not see then is what I can reveal to you now. If those doors had remained open, they would have drained you, delayed you, or distorted you. Some doors lead to comfort but not to calling. Some doors lead to familiarity but not to fulfillment. Some doors feel safe but quietly suffocate growth. I closed them because you were beginning to outgrow them, and growth always creates tension. Repetition mattered here too. How many times did you try to reopen what I had already closed? How many times did you knock again, hoping the outcome would change? Each attempt was met with resistance, confusion, or emptiness, not because I was cruel, but because I was consistent. Closed doors are boundaries set by love. They are firm because they must be. They are final because they protect what is ahead of you. Now, as you stand in this new season, I want you to stop carrying guilt for endings I ordained. You do not need to apologize for growth. You do not need to grieve what could not follow you. You do not need to keep explaining yourself to closed doors. Turn around, my child. There is nothing for you behind you now. What is ahead will not require you to beg, diminish yourself, or compromise your peace. What is ahead will open because it recognizes you, not because you force it. Old doors had to close so new ones could open without obstruction. Space had to be created. Weight had to be released. Identity had to be clarified. And now, because you let go, even when it hurt, you are lighter, clearer, and more ready than you realize. Closure was not the end of your story. It was the clearing of the stage for what comes next. My beloved child, let me speak directly to the fear that whispers when the world grows quiet. You're too late. That lie has haunted you more than you admit. You watched timelines move forward. You saw others reach milestones you thought you should have reached by now. You measured your life against calendars, against peers, against expectations that were never meant to govern your journey. And slowly, subtly, the thought crept in, maybe you missed it. Maybe you waited too long. Maybe your moment passed while you were trying to survive. But hear me now, with authority and tenderness. You are not late. Not by a second. Not by a step. Not by a season. You are right on time according to the only timeline that matters, mine. Human clocks measure productivity. Heaven measures readiness. Human timelines reward speed. Heaven honors alignment. What looks delayed in the natural realm is often perfectly synchronized in the spiritual one. You needed time that others did not. Not because you were weaker, but because your assignment is heavier. Not because you were slower, but because what you carry requires depth. You were not racing, you were being formed. And formation can't be rushed without consequence. I refuse to release you early just to satisfy comparison. I refuse to advance you prematurely just to quiet insecurity. I waited until your heart, your mind, and your spirit could move together without tearing you apart. Many arrive early and spend years repairing damage that haste created. You, however, are arriving whole. Whole in awareness. Whole in humility. Whole in strength. You did not miss your window. Your window waited for you. Destiny does not expire when delays are divinely appointed. Purpose does not rot because of waiting. Calling does not vanish because the road was longer than expected. Everything I promised is still intact because it was never dependent on speed. It was dependent on surrender. So let go now, my child, of the panic that says you must catch up. There is nothing to chase, nothing to reclaim, and nothing to regret. You are not behind, you are positioned. You are not late, you are aligned. And what unfolds from here will unfold with a peace you could not have handled earlier. Timing is not about arriving fast, it is about arriving ready. And you are ready now. Ready to receive without fear. Ready to move without chaos. Ready to walk forward without constantly looking back. When you step into what comes next, it will not feel rushed. It will feel right. And you will finally understand why every not yet mattered. You are not late, my beloved. You are exactly where you need to be. My beloved child, listen to me now with the full attention of your heart, because the next steps before you will test not your ability, but your courage. This moment does not require perfection. It does not demand certainty. It does not wait for you to feel ready in the way the world defines readiness. This moment requires courage, not fear. Fear has already had its turn with you. It spoke loudly in earlier seasons. It warned you, restrained you, questioned you, and sometimes convinced you that staying still was safer than moving forward. Fear told you that the risk was too high, the cost too great, the unknown too dangerous. But courage is speaking now, and courage does not shout. Courage speaks steadily. Courage says, take the step anyway. Courage says, trust what you know, not what you feel. Courage says, you have survived worse than this. This moment is not asking you to eliminate fear. It is asking you to refuse to obey it. Fear may walk beside you for a while, but it no longer gets to lead. Leadership belongs to courage now. You have mistaken fear for wisdom before because fear is clever. It disguises itself as caution, as logic, as realism. It repeats the same warnings until they sound reasonable. It exaggerates consequences and minimizes calling. It highlights everything that could go wrong while ignoring everything that already went right. But courage tells a different story. Courage remembers the battles you survived. Courage remembers the doors that opened at the last moment. Courage remembers how many times you were sustained when you thought you would collapse. This is why I say courage, 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 because repetition matters. The more you choose courage, the weaker fear becomes. The more you act in courage, the less power fear has to command your future. This moment will feel uncomfortable not because it is wrong, but because it is new. Growth always stretches what has grown accustomed to limitation. You are stepping beyond what you know, and fear protests loudly when familiarity is threatened. But familiarity is not safety, and discomfort is not danger. Often, discomfort is simply the signal that expansion is taking place. So hear me clearly now, my child. Do not wait for fear to leave before you move. It may not. Courage does not wait for fear to disappear. It moves while fear is present. This is the kind of courage you are being invited into. The courage that acts in trembling obedience. The courage that trusts my voice over its own doubts. The courage that says, Even if I don't see the whole path, I will take the next step. I will not ask you to leap where there is no ground. I will ask you to step where light has already been given. One step, not 10. One decision, not the entire future. Courage lives in increments. It grows through action. And as you move, clarity will follow movement, not precede it. You have been strong enough to endure. Now you are being asked to be brave enough to advance. This moment does not belong to fear anymore. It belongs to courage, quiet, steady, faithful courage that knows I am with you. My beloved child, let me tell you something you have not fully accepted yet. Something that has been true for a long time even when you could not see it. You are stronger than you realize. Not stronger in the loud, forceful way the world celebrates, but stronger in the deep, enduring way that survives storms without losing itself. You underestimate your strength because you remember how often you felt weak. You remember the moments when you cried, when you doubted, when you almost gave up. But weakness felt does not equal weakness possessed. Feeling fragile does not mean you are fragile. In fact, the very moments you believed you were breaking were the moments your strength was being forged. Strength is not the absence of tears. It is the refusal to surrender to despair. Strength is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to keep going anyway. And you did that. And again. Repetition built resilience. Repetition built capacity. Repetition built a strength so integrated into you that you no longer recognize it as extraordinary. But heaven recognizes it. I recognize it. Look back with honesty, my child, and you will see evidence everywhere. You endured what you once thought would end you. You adapted to losses you never planned for. You carried responsibilities you never asked for. You navigated seasons that drained you emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and still, you remained compassionate. Still, you remained hopeful. Still, you remained open. That is not accidental strength. That is cultivated strength. That is strength refined by experience, tempered by disappointment, and stabilized by faith. The world often equates strength with dominance, control, and certainty. But I define strength differently. I define strength as the ability to remain aligned with truth under pressure. I define strength as the capacity to love without guarantee. I define strength as the willingness to keep trusting me when answers are delayed. By that definition, you are far stronger than you think. Your strength has been quiet because it had to be sustainable. Loud strength burns out quickly, quiet strength lasts. And now, as you stand at the edge of new responsibility, new opportunity, new visibility, I want you to stop questioning whether you can handle what is coming. You can. Not because you are flawless, but because you are fortified. You are not stepping into this next season empty-handed. You are carrying experience, discernment, empathy, and endurance. You are carrying wisdom earned the hard way. You are carrying patience that steadies decision-making. You are carrying faith that has already been tested and proven. This is why I allowed you to go through what you went through, not to harm you, but to equip you. What once felt like overburdening was actually strengthening. What once felt like too much was preparing you for more. You are stronger than you realize, because I have been strengthening you all along. And now, as the road opens ahead, I want you to walk forward with this truth settled deep in your bones. You are not fragile, you are formed. You are not barely holding on, you are firmly grounded. You are not guessing, you are ready. When you believe this, you will stop shrinking back from opportunities meant for you and start stepping into them with quiet confidence. My beloved child, come closer still, because what I am about to say must settle deeply inside you before you move forward another step. What begins now will last. This is not a fleeting season, not a temporary surge, not a momentary relief meant only to help you catch your breath before another collapse. What begins now carries endurance within it. Longevity is woven into its design. I did not bring you this far, through this much shaping, through this many hidden battles, only to hand you something fragile. I am not careless with timing, and I am not wasteful with purpose. What unfolds from here has roots, not just branches. It is grounded, not impulsive. It has been formed in secret long before it appears in the open. Many things in your past started quickly and ended painfully because they were built on urgency, not alignment. They were driven by need, not readiness. They demanded energy but did not return life. But this is different. You will feel it immediately. There will be a quiet steadiness to it, a calm strength beneath it, a sense of rightness that does not need to be defended or explained. That is how you will know it will last. I know you have learned to be cautious. Past disappointments trained you to expect collapse, to brace for loss even in moments of joy. You learned to celebrate softly, to hope carefully, to keep one foot ready to retreat. That caution kept you alive, and I honor it. But it cannot lead you into this new season. This season is not built on fear of loss. It is built on trust in provision. What begins now will not demand constant anxiety to survive. It will not require you to exhaust yourself just to keep it standing. It will grow through consistency, not crisis. Through faithfulness, not frenzy. Through repetition, not panic. Day by day. Step by step. Breath by breath. Lasting things grow slowly because they are meant to remain. I allowed instability in earlier seasons so you could recognize stability when it arrives. I allowed short-lived victories so you could appreciate enduring ones. Conquest taught you discernment. Now discernment will guard what is being born. So I want you to stop asking, how long will this last? That question comes from old wounds, not present truth. Instead, ask, how do I steward this well? Because stewardship is the language of longevity. Gratitude will strengthen what begins now. Patience will protect it. Obedience will sustain it. Humility will anchor it. You do not need to rush this season or squeeze everything out of it immediately. Let it breathe. Let it mature. Let it deepen. What begins now will last because it was not rushed into existence. It was grown into place, and you were grown into it. This is not a spark meant to flare and fade. This is a fire meant to warm, guide, and endure. Trust that. Rest in that. Walk forward knowing you are no longer building on sand, but on ground that can carry weight without giving way. My beloved child, hear me gently now, because this truth will release a burden you have carried far too long. You no longer need to prove yourself. Not to me. Not to others. Not to the version of yourself that once believed love had to be earned and belonging had to be justified. Proving was a survival skill that kept you moving. It kept you striving. It kept you from feeling disposable in environments that measured worth by output. But that season has ended. Proving exhausts the soul because it never truly satisfies. It only raises the standard higher each time you meet it. You learned how to work harder, explain more, give extra, endure silently, all in hopes of being seen, chosen, or secured. And while those efforts were understandable, they were never required by me. I never asked you to perform for my approval. I never withheld my love until you met a condition. I never measured your value by your productivity. The moment you stopped striving to earn and started learning to receive, something shifted. You may not have noticed it at first, but heaven did. Proving creates anxiety, receiving creates peace. Proving says, I must be enough. Receiving says, I already am. You are stepping into a season where effort will still exist, but it will flow from identity, not insecurity. From calling, not comparison. From obedience, not fear. You will still give your best, but you will no longer give yourself away. You will still show up, but you will no longer abandon your own needs to be accepted. This is the difference between striving and stewardship. Striving tries to earn worth. Stewardship honors what is already given. And you, my child, have been given much: wisdom, resilience, compassion, discernment. You do not need to prove those things by overextending yourself. Let your presence speak. Let your consistency speak. Let your peace speak. Repetition of healthy choices will speak louder than bursts of self-sacrifice ever could. So when old thoughts return, thoughts that say you must explain yourself, justify your pace, revalidate your worth, answer them with truth. You belong because I place you here. You are chosen because I chose you. You are enough because I say so. This freedom will feel unfamiliar at first. You may feel exposed without the armor of proving. But that armor was heavy, and you were never meant to wear it forever. Lay it down. Ream. Stand tall without flexing. Speak without defending. Love without overgiving. What is meant for you will not require proof. It will require presence. And as you live from this place of rest, you will discover something beautiful. People will respond to who you are, not what you produce. Opportunities will open because of alignment, not exhaustion. And you will finally experience what it means to move forward without dragging the weight of self-justification behind you. You no longer need to prove yourself, my beloved. You are already received. My beloved child, come and sit with me here, because this truth must be spoken softly before it can be lived boldly. You are allowed to trust again. I know that sentence alone stirs tension in your chest. Trust once cost you dearly. You opened your heart. You extended your faith. You believed in people, in promises, in outcomes that did not hold. And when trust collapsed, it did not fall quietly. It shattered. Peace is lodged deep inside you, teaching you caution, teaching you restraint, teaching you how to survive without expecting too much from anyone. That survival skill served you for a season, but it cannot follow you into this one. Guarded hearts can endure, but they cannot fully receive. And this season is not about endurance anymore. It is about restoration. Trust does not mean forgetting what hurt you. Trust does not mean pretending betrayal never happened. Trust does not mean handing your heart to anyone who asks. Trust means believing that I am able to lead you wisely again without repeating the same wounds. You are not being asked to be reckless. You are being invited to be receptive. I watched the way disappointment taught you to build walls brick by brick. Logical walls. Sensible walls. Walls that made sense. You told yourself it was maturity, wisdom, discernment, and some of it was. But some of it was fear dressed as protection. Fear repeating, don't hope too much. Don't lean too deeply. Don't expect consistency. That repetition shaped your posture toward life. It kept you safe, but it also kept you distant. Trust, trust, trust. This is why I repeat it now. Because repetition retrains the heart. I am not calling you back to blind trust. I am calling you into guided trust. Trust that listens. Trust that discerns. Trust that pauses when peace is absent. Trust that moves when peace remains. You are allowed to trust me with your heart again. To believe that not every connection will collapse, not every promise will fail, Not every open door will become a wound. The past trained you to expect loss. The present is training you to recognize safety. So let me guide your trust, step by step. Not all at once. Not rush. Trust grows like a muscle. It strengthens through careful use, not sudden strain. You will feel it return in small ways first. A willingness to hope without bracing for disappointment. A readiness to connect without rehearsing escape. A peace that remains even when outcomes are uncertain. These are signs of healing, not naivety. Contrast this with the old pattern: constant vigilance, constant suspicion, constant emotional withdrawal. The posture exhausted you and protected you, but it also isolated you. Now I am inviting you into a posture of openness with boundaries, softness with wisdom, courage with discernment. You are allowed to trust again because you are no longer the same person who was hurt. You see more clearly now. You listen more carefully now. You choose more intentionally now. And I am walking with you now, closer than ever, guiding each step. Trust again, my child, not because the world is suddenly safe, but because you are no longer alone in navigating it. My beloved, as you learn to trust again, I am asking you to trust me here as well. Giving is not loss. It is guided trust, a step taken with discernment and peace. When you sow into this work, you are placing seed into good soil where my word is carried carefully, faithfully, and without compromise. I am speaking to you now. Commit your way to me, and I will establish your steps. Your generosity opens rivers where fear once closed doors, and it allows healing truth to reach others who are still afraid to hope. This is a divine appointment, not a random moment scrolling past you. I will guard your heart, multiply your seed, and return peace where trust once broke. Respond now, give through super thanks, become a member, or use PayPal linked in the description, and trust me with this step. My beloved child, hear me now, because fear has painted pictures of the future that were never meant to be yours. The future is not empty. It is not a blank space waiting to disappoint you. It is not a void filled with uncertainty and repetition of past pain. That light crept in quietly, didn't it? After so many seasons of waiting, after so many unmet expectations, it became easier to imagine nothing than to risk hoping for something. You told yourself you were being realistic, but what you were really doing was protecting your heart from disappointment. I understand that instinct. I honor how it kept you steady when hope felt dangerous. But listen carefully now. The future before you is not barren. It is simply unfamiliar. And unfamiliar does not mean unpromising. It means open. It means alive with possibility that has not yet taken form. Silence does not mean absence. Space does not mean emptiness. Winter does not mean death. Contrast teaches clarity, and this is the contrast you must see. The future is not repeating the past. It is responding to the growth the past produced in you. I have been filling the future quietly while you were looking backward in concern. I have been arranging connections, opportunities, moments of clarity that will meet you exactly when you arrive. You will not recognize them by noise or urgency, but by peace. Peace that settles instead of agitates. Peace that confirms instead of confuses. The future is not something you must force into existence. It is something you are stepping into alignment with. You will notice this as your desires shift, as your priorities realign, as certain paths no longer call to you the way they once did. That is not loss. That is focus. That is direction emerging. Repetition has trained you to survive uncertainty. Now it will train you to walk with expectation. Day by day, step by step. You do not need to see the whole future to trust that it exists. You only need enough light for the next step, and that light has already been given. So stop telling yourself that nothing is ahead just because nothing is familiar. Familiarity is not the measure of fullness. Many of the richest seasons of your life will begin unfamiliar. New does not mean empty, it means undiscovered. And what waits for you carries intention. It carries purpose. It carries joy that is quieter but deeper, opportunities that are fewer but truer, relationships that are simpler but stronger. You will not need to chase the future. It will meet you as you walk forward in obedience. Lift your eyes, my child. The horizon is not bare. It is bright with things still forming. Trust that. Walk toward then. The future is not empty. It is waiting for you to arrive with the version of yourself you have become. My beloved child, slow your breathing and steady your heart, because I want you to feel the weight and wonder of this truth as it settles into you. Heaven is involved in this chapter. This is not merely a personal turning point, not simply the result of effort, endurance, or timing. What is unfolding now carries the fingerprints of the unseen. There are movements you did not initiate, alignments you did not orchestrate, protections you did not even know you needed. I have been working beyond your sight, above your understanding, and ahead of your steps. While you were wrestling with doubt, heaven was responding to faith. While you were questioning direction, heaven was arranging connections. While you were asking why, heaven was preparing when. This chapter is not being written by human hands alone. It is being authored with intention, overseen with care, guarded with precision. You are not navigating the season by instinct alone. You are being guided by design. You have sensed it already, haven't you? That subtle but unmistakable awareness that things are aligning in ways too specific to be coincidence. Conversations arriving at the right moment. Delays that later revealed themselves as protection. Doors opening without the usual resistance. These are not random events. They are signals. Signals that heaven is leaning in, that the unseen realm is active, that what you are stepping into matters beyond your personal comfort. Heaven invests where purpose is present. Heaven moves where obedience has been consistent. Heaven responds to faith that endured quietly when no one was watching. This is why repetition mattered in your earlier seasons, why you were asked to trust again and again, to wait again and again, to choose hope again and again. Each repetition built resonance. Each act of faith tuned your spirit to hear guidance now. You are not guessing your way forward. You are being led, even when the path unfolds one step at a time. So I want you to release the burden of thinking everything depends on you. It does not. Responsibility belongs to you, but outcome belongs to me. Your role is obedience, not orchestration. Presence, not pressure. Faithfulness, not frenzy. Heaven is involved, which means you do not have to force momentum, manipulate timing, or control perception. You can move with humility and confidence at the same time. Humility because you know this is bigger than you. Confidence because you know you are not alone. This chapter carries authority not because of who you are, but because of who walks with you. And as you continue forward, you will notice something remarkable. Peace will become your confirmation. When peace remains, proceed. When peace withdraws, pause. Heaven communicates through peace more often than through urgency. Trust that guidance. This chapter is supervised, supported, and sustained by forces greater than you can see. Heaven is involved, my child, and because of that, you can move forward without fear of being abandoned or misled. My beloved child, listen carefully now, because this truth will protect you from striving and save you from confusion. You will recognize the doors that open, not by noise, not by pressure, not by urgency screaming for your attention. You will recognize them by peace. by clarity, by a sense of belonging that does not require you to twist yourself into something you are not. For a long time, you learned to chase opportunity, to knock repeatedly, to prove readiness just to be considered. You mistook effort for alignment and exhaustion for commitment. But those days are ending. The doors that open in this season will open differently. They will not require you to beg. They will not demand compromise. They will not threaten your peace as the price of entry. When a door is meant for you, it responds to your presence. It does not resist you. It does not confuse you. It does not drain you before you even step inside. You will feel the contrast immediately. Old doors demanded striving. New doors invite stepping. Old doors required you to shrink or perform. New doors allow you to arrive whole. Old doors came with anxiety and second-guessing. New doors come with a quiet assurance that says, "This fits." That recognition is not arrogance. It is discernment refined by experience. Everything you walked through before trained your spirit to sense alignment now. You learned what pressure feels like. You learned what manipulation feels like. You learned what false urgency feels like. So when a door opens without those signals, when it opens with simplicity, with respect, with room to breathe, you will know. Recognition will come not as excitement alone, but as steadiness, a calm confidence, a settled heart. Repetition matters here too. The more you honor peace, the clearer it becomes. The more you choose alignment over ambition, the more unmistakable the right doors will be. And I want you to understand this, my child, so you do not fear missing out. What is meant for you will not require chasing. You cannot miss what is assigned to you by obedience. You cannot arrive too late to a door that is waiting for you. The right doors open in response to readiness, not desperation. They open when your character can sustain what your calling demands. And you are ready now in ways you were not before. So walk without panic. Choose without pressure. Trust without fear. When a door opens and peace stays, step forward. When a door opens and peace leaves, pause, even if it looks impressive. Even if others applaud it. Even if it promises quick reward. Your peace is your compass now. Let it guide you. You will recognize the doors that open because they will feel like continuation, not conflict. Like invitation, not intrusion. Like home, not hiding. And as you step through them, you will realize you were not searching for doors anymore. They were waiting for you. My beloved child, come and rest your heart here for a moment, because this truth is tender and powerful all at once. Let go of who you had to be to survive. That version of you was necessary. That version of you was brave. That version of you carried you through storms that would have swallowed someone else whole. But that version of you is not required for where you are going next. Survival shaped you, but it was never meant to define you forever. You learned how to be vigilant, how to read rooms, how to anticipate disappointment before it arrived. You learned how to stay quiet when speaking felt dangerous, how to be strong when asking for help felt risky, how to endure when resting felt impossible. That survival self kept you alive. I honor it. I protected you through it. But now, continuing to live from survival will limit what I am trying to give you. Survival is about preservation. This season is about participation. Survival is about bracing. This season is about breathing. Survival narrows the heart. This season expands it. You cannot receive fully while still braced for impact. I know how deeply ingrained those survival patterns became. They feel like wisdom now. They feel like caution, control, and self-protection. But hear me carefully. What once protected you may now restrict you. You learn to expect loss, so you keep joy at arm's length. You learn to expect abandonment, so you stay emotionally prepared to leave first. You learn to expect disappointment, so you soften hope before it can fully rise. That posture made sense when you were under threat. It does not serve you now that you are under care. Repetition taught your nervous system to stay alert. No repetition will teach it to rest. Contrast will help you recognize this. Notice how exhausting it feels to stay guarded when nothing is attacking you. That exhaustion is a signal. It is telling you that the season has changed. You are no longer in constant danger. You are no longer navigating chaos alone. You are no longer required to be everything for everyone just to stay afloat. So let me help you release that old identity gently, not abruptly. You do not discard it with shame, you lay it down with gratitude. Thank it for what it did, and then let it go. You are allowed to live now, not just endure. You are allowed to feel joy without immediately scanning for loss. You are allowed to rest without guilt. You are allowed to trust that peace will not suddenly disappear the moment you relax. Letting go will feel unfamiliar at first. Vulnerability always does after long seasons of self-reliance. But vulnerability here is not exposure to harm. It is openness to healing. Survival taught you how to stay alive. This season will teach you how to be whole. And as you loosen your grip on who you had to be, you will discover who you were always meant to become, someone who lives from security, not fear, from presence, not pressure, from love, not survival. My beloved child, as you step fully into this new chapter, there is a quiet guardian I am placing at the entrance of your heart: gratitude. Gratitude will guard this season. Not excitement alone, not discipline alone, not wisdom alone. Gratitude. Gratitude keeps the heart soft when blessing increases. Gratitude keeps perspective clear when opportunities multiply. Gratitude anchors you to reality when momentum accelerates. I have seen what happens when seasons change quickly, how easily people forget where they came from, how subtly entitlement replaces wonder, how gratitude fades into expectation. That will not be your story if you let gratitude lead. Gratitude is not passive appreciation. It is active awareness. It remembers the nights you cried for what you now hold. It remembers the prayers you whispered when this season felt impossible. It remembers the strength it took to survive the waiting. Gratitude does not minimize pain. It redeems it by giving it context. You will notice how gratitude changes the way you experience what comes next. Instead of asking what's next with anxiety, you will ask it with anticipation. Instead of consuming blessings quickly, you will savor them deeply. Instead of rushing ahead, you will pause and notice. Gratitude slows you down just enough to keep you grounded. It reminds you that everything you are stepping into was once a prayer, once a hope, once a distant dream. Repetition matters here too. Daily gratitude, spoken gratitude, remembered gratitude. The more you practice it, the more it protects you from pride, comparison, and dissatisfaction. Gratitude sharpens joy. It multiplies peace. It turns ordinary moments into sacred ones. It keeps your heart aligned with me rather than intoxicated by outcomes. So build this season on thanksgiving, my child. When doors open, give thanks. When clarity comes, give thanks. When peace settles, give thanks. Not because gratitude earns blessing, but because it sustains it. Gratitude will guard you from returning to survival mode. It will guard you from fear of loss. It will guard you from forgetting the faithfulness that brought you here. And as you move forward with a thankful heart, you will notice something beautiful. Joy will linger longer, peace will remain steadier, and confidence will grow quieter but stronger. Gratitude does not make you small, it makes you rooted. And rooted people do not topple when seasons shift. They grow, they endure, they flourish. My beloved child, come even closer now, because this truth carries both tenderness and responsibility, and I want it to land gently but firmly in your heart. Your story will strengthen others. Not because you set out to be an example, not because you wanted to endure pain, not because you planned to walk such a difficult road, but because you did. And because you did not quit, your life now carries a weight that words alone could never hold. There are people you have not yet met who will draw courage from your existence. There are hearts that will steady simply by hearing how you kept going when everything told you to stop. Your story is not loud, but it is deep. It is not polished, but it is real. And real stories heal where perfect ones intimidate. You once asked me why your path seemed harder, lonelier, more complicated than others. This is one of the reasons. I was not only shaping you for your own future, I was shaping you into a living testimony that endurance is possible, that faith can survive silence, that hope can outlast delay. You have no idea how many times someone will look at you and feel less alone, not because you explain everything, but because they recognize something familiar in your eyes. Pain recognizes pain. Perseverance recognizes perseverance. Quiet strength called to quiet strength. This is why I did not remove every struggle quickly. This is why I allowed you to walk through seasons that felt unnecessary. Your life has become a bridge between despair and hope, a bridge between waiting and fulfillment, a bridge between survival and wholeness. And bridges must be strong because others will walk across them. You were reinforced under pressure so you could carry weight without collapsing. Repetition mattered. Every time you chose to stand again, every time you forgave again, every time you trusted again, your story gained another layer of strength. These layers will one day support someone else's healing. So do not minimize what you've been through. Do not dismiss your journey as ordinary or insignificant. Heaven does not see it that way. What you survived will become language for someone else's pain. What you learned will become wisdom for someone else's confusion. What you endured will become hope for someone else's despair. You do not need to preach. You do not need to perform. You only need to live honestly, humbly, and faithfully. Your presence will speak. Your peace will speak. Your steadiness will speak. And when others ask how you made it through, you will simply point to me, not as a slogan, but as a lived reality. Your story will strengthen others because it has already strengthened you. And this, my child, is one of the quiet miracles of redemption. Nothing you walk through was wasted, because love has a way of turning wounds into wells where others can drink. My beloved child, as the horizon opens wider and the road ahead becomes clearer, I want to place this instruction gently but firmly in your heart. Stay humble. Stay open. Humility will keep you grounded. Openness will keep you growing. These two together will protect everything I am entrusting to you. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is remembering where your strength comes from. Openness is not being unguarded. It is being teachable. As doors open and opportunities expand, there will be a subtle temptation to harden into certainty, to believe you have arrived fully, to close yourself off from correction or curiosity. Resist that temptation. Arrival does not end learning, it deepens it. This season will bring affirmation, and affirmation can quietly inflate if humility does not anchor it. Stay aware. Stay grateful. Stay conscious of the fact that every step forward was guided, not self-made. Openness will matter just as much. New seasons require new ways of listening. What worked before may not work the same way now. What protected you earlier may restrict you later. Stay open to adjustment. Stay open to feedback. Stay open to growth that stretches you beyond comfort. You have already learned that rigidity breaks under pressure, but flexibility endures. Repetition taught you perseverance. Now it will teach you discernment. Again and again, choose to listen. Again and again, choose curiosity over defensiveness. Again and again, choose softness over stubbornness. These choices will keep your heart alive. Contrast will help you here too. Remember how closedness once isolated you, how openness once healed you. Let memory guide wisdom. And above all, stay open to me. Do not assume you know how everything will unfold simply because you have come this far. I am still speaking, still guiding, still refining. The posture that carried you through waiting, dependence, attentiveness, surrender, is the same posture that will carry you through fulfillment. Humility keeps your hands open. Openness keeps your eyes clear. Together, they allow you to receive without grasping and to grow without pride. This is how you will sustain what is being given. This is how you will continue to recognize my voice amid new noise. Stay humble. Stay open, my beloved. The journey is not ending here. It is widening. And as long as your heart remains soft and your spirit remains teachable, I will continue to lead you forward, step by step, into everything I have prepared. My beloved child, stay with me a little longer, because I want to correct a quiet fear before it takes root. This is the beginning, not the peak. I know how the mind whispers when relief finally arrives. Don't breathe too deeply. Don't hope too boldly. Don't enjoy this too freely. After long seasons of loss, the heart learns to treat good moments as fragile, temporary, almost suspicious. You learn to brace for endings even while beginnings were still unfolding. But listen to me now with the seriousness of love. You are not standing on a summit that will only descend from here. You are standing at a threshold, a doorway, a widening. Peaks are isolated and brief. Beginnings are expansive and enduring. Peaks demand celebration and then retreat. Beginnings invite stewardship, patience, and growth. What you are stepping into now has room to deepen, space to mature, and time to strengthen. I did not bring you through endurance just to hand you a highlight reel moment and call it done. I brought you through endurance to prepare you for sustained fruit. You may feel the urge to grasp tightly, to extract everything immediately, to make this season count before it fades. That urge comes from old scarcity, not present abundance. Scarcity says, take it all now before it disappears. Abundance says, let it grow. There will be more tomorrow. Repetition has trained you to survive. Now repetition will train you to trust continuity. Day after day of steady progress. Choice after choice of faithful presence. This is how beginnings become legacies. Contrast this with the past. Remember how quickly things once flared and fizzled because they were built on urgency, on proving, on pressure. This is different. This is slower, steadier, stronger. It will not intoxicate you with speed. It will ground you with purpose. Do not confuse calm with stagnation. Calm is often the sound of stability settling in. So breathe. Let your shoulders drop. Allow yourself to enjoy the unfolding without fearing the ending. There is no cliff edge ahead of you. There is a road, wide enough to walk, long enough to grow, strong enough to carry weight. I am inviting you to think in seasons, not moments, in cultivation, not consumption, in faithfulness, not frenzy. This is the beginning, not the peak. The light ahead does not dim quickly, it brightens gradually. And as you walk forward with patience and gratitude, you will realize something beautiful. What once felt like the highest point of your hope was only the opening scene of a much larger story. My beloved child, come close now. Let everything else quiet. Let the striving rest. Let the questions pause. You finally arrived. Not merely at a destination, but at a posture. Not merely at an outcome, but at an alignment. Arrival is not about crossing a finish line. It is about becoming who you needed to be to receive what was promised. You arrived when your heart learned patience. You arrived when your faith learned endurance. You arrived when your identity stopped depending on approval and started resting in truth. You arrived when you could hold blessing without gripping it in fear, when you could walk forward without dragging the past behind you. This arrival was not sudden. It was cumulative, built by 1,000 quiet decisions to keep going, built by nights you cried and still trusted, built by days you doubted and still showed up, built by prayers that felt unanswered but were never unheard. I want you to feel the holiness of this moment without rushing past it. Arrival deserves recognition. Gratitude deserves space. Acknowledgement deserves breath. Too often people move so quickly into what's next that they never honor what has been overcome. But I am inviting you to pause, not to stop moving, but to witness. Witness how far you have come. Witness how much you have changed. Witness how faithfully you were carried. You did not arrive by force. You arrived by faith. You did not arrive because everything went right. You arrived because you refused to quit when everything went wrong. Heaven saw that. Heaven recorded that. Heaven rejoiced over that. And now heaven meets you here, not with pressure, not with demands, but with affirmation. Well done for staying. Well done for trusting. Well done for becoming. So stand here for a moment, my child. Let the truth settle. You are not chasing destiny anymore. You are walking in it. You are not waiting to be chosen. You are responding to the call. You are not hoping blindly. You are seeing clearly. This is not the end of movement. It is the end of confusion. It is the end of wondering if you were on the right path. You have been. And now you know it. Carry this knowing with humility. Carry it with gratitude. Carry it with courage. You finally arrive, not to rest forever, but to walk forward with confidence, peace, and purpose. I am with you here, and I will be with you as you continue. But today, let this truth echo gently and firmly in your heart. You made it. My child, now that you have arrived, I am calling you to help others find their way here too. You are no longer chasing. I am inviting you to sow from a place of clarity and peace. What you release now becomes fire on other paths, manna for weary souls, and light for those still walking through confusion. Hear me, freely you have received. Now freely give, for this is how my kingdom multiplies. This moment is sacred. Your giving partners with heaven's movement already in motion. I will bless your obedience, cover your household, and cause your seed to return with increase. Do not delay. Act now through super thanks, membership, or PayPal. The link is in the video description, and step fully into this calling with me. My beloved child, do not let this moment pass in silence. If this word has reached you, if your spirit knows this is the moment destiny has been leading you to, then declare it. Comment with bold faith and write, I have arrived. Do it not for others to see, but as a witness before heaven that you are stepping into alignment. Your declaration seals what has been stirring in your spirit. Speak it, own it, and watch how what you confess with faith begins to unfold with power. And once you have spoken it, remain in this moment a little longer. Arrival is not only a destination, it is an awakening to my presence with you now. What you have declared has opened your heart to hear more clearly than before. Do not rush ahead, because when alignment begins, I draw close to speak personally. So quiet your thoughts and let everything else fall away, for this moment was prepared long before you recognized it. My child, stop everything you are doing right now. I need you to listen to me. You have clicked on this. You are listening to this, not by accident, but by my divine appointment. I am speaking directly to you. I am looking right at you. You have been waiting for a sign, and this is it. You have been asking for an answer, and I am here to give it. Pause now. Breathe in my presence. Let the noise of the world fade away. It is just me and you. I see you. You have felt invisible for so long. You have walked through your days with a heavy heart, putting on a fake smile for your family, for your coworkers, and for the world, while inside, you were screaming. I witnessed the tears you wiped away in the office bathroom so no one would see your pain. I sat beside you in the car when you didn't want to go inside your house because the tension there felt suffocating. I heard you at 3 a.m. when you stared at the ceiling, wondering if I had forgotten your name. You asked me why. You asked me how long. You felt the crushing weight of bills piling up on the table. You felt the sting of rejection when that promotion went to someone else. You felt the loneliness when you lay in bed next to a spouse who felt miles away, or when you lay in an empty bed wishing for a companion. You thought I was silent. You thought I was absent. You thought I didn't care about the knot of anxiety in your stomach that tightens every Sunday night. I am telling you now, I never looked away. Not for a second. My silence was not my absence. My silence was my intense focus. I was working when you saw nothing. I was moving pieces around on the chessboard of your life while you were sleeping. You wanted immediate relief, but I was crafting eternal character. You wanted the pain to stop, but I needed the root to be pulled out completely so it would never grow back. Finally, hear that word. Finally, the moment has arrived. You could not rush this. You cannot bake a cake in a minute. It would be ruin. You cannot build a skyscraper on a weak foundation. It would collapse. I had to make you strong enough to carry what I am about to hand you. If I had given you this blessing yesterday, it would have crushed you. But today you are different. The waiting has not killed you. It has built you. I have caught every single prayer you whispered. You think your words hit the ceiling and dissolved. Oh, I kept them. Picture this in your mind. In my throne room, there are golden bowls. Every time you said, "Lord, help me," a drop went into the bowl. Every time you cried, "I can't do this anymore," I added it to the storehouse. Those bowls are full. They are heavy with your petitions. And now, my child, they are tipping over. You are standing on the edge of the greatest shift of your life. Lift your head. Do not look at the ground in shame anymore. Do not look back at the years you think you wasted. I am redeeming them. You are not a victim of your timeline. You are a student of my timing. Your redemption is drawing near. The wait is over. The silence is breaking. I am answering. I'm moving. And you are ready. My child, I know how dry the ground has been beneath your feet. I know the days you spent wandering, looking for water, looking for a sign, looking for anything that made sense. You called it a wasteland. I called it a classroom. You thought it was a graveyard where your dreams went to die. I intended it to be a garden where your true identity would finally take root. Listen to me. The wilderness was not an accident. It was a necessity. You have wondered why I stripped so much away from you. You lost friends you thought would be there forever. You lost positions you built your identity around. You watched your bank account dwindle and your social calendar empty out. It felt like punishment, didn't it? It felt like I was angry with you. But I was not punishing you. I was purifying you. I had to strip away your reliance on worldly things so that you would learn to lean only on me. As long as you had a backup plan, you would never truly trust my provision. As long as you sought the approval of people, you would never be fully satisfied with my love. I had to bring you to the end of yourself so that you could find the beginning of me. I tested your heart, not because I didn't know what was in it, but because you needed to know what was in it. Could you handle the weight of the glory I am about to release? If I had given you the success while your character was still flimsy, the weight of the blessing would have crushed you. I love you too much to let you be destroyed by your own success. So, I took you through the fire to burn off the ego, the pride, and the need for applause. I wanted your destiny to point to my kingdom, not to your fragile self-image. Think back to those nights when you cried out, and the only answer was silence. In that silence, you learned the language of faith. Anyone can believe when the sun is shining and the bank account is full. But you learned to believe when you saw no evidence. You learned to praise me in the hallway while the door was still shut. That is a faith that cannot be shaken. That is a faith that moves mountains. I have been preparing your character to sustain the blessing I am about to pour out. Talent can take you to the top, but only character can keep you there. I have been forging steel in your spine. I have been expanding your capacity for compassion by allowing you to feel pain. You are not the same person who entered this wilderness. You are stronger. You are deeper. You are more authentic. So, do not despise the desert you just walked through. And did its job. It cleared your vision. It sharpened your hearing. It killed the parts of you that would have sabotaged your future. Breathe in deeply now. Can you feel it? The air is changing. You are leaving the wilderness behind, but you are taking the lessons with you. You are graduating. Stop looking at your past with regret. I need you to change your perspective right now. You look back and see a mess of broken pieces, missed opportunities, and wasted years. I look back and I see raw material. I see the threads of a masterpiece. You think those years were lost. My child, nothing in my economy is ever wasted. Not a single tear, not a single betrayal, not a single delay. I am the great weaver. I am taking the sharp shards of your past trauma, the rejection you faced in childhood, the heartbreak of that failed relationship, the stinging disappointment of that career setback, and I am fitting them into a design that will leave you breathless. Every disappointment you faced was actually a divine redirection. The door slammed in your face because there was a wolf behind it waiting to devour you. I closed it to save you. That person walked out of your life because they were too small for your future. I removed them to make space for your destiny. I want you to trace the red thread of my grace through your life. Look closely. Even in your darkest moments, I was there. Who gave you the strength to get out of bed when you wanted to give up? That was me. Who sent that stranger with a kind word when you were on the edge? That was me. Who protected you from that accident, that addiction, that bad decision that could have ended it all? That was me. My hand has been on you since you were in your mother's womb. We are now at the convergence point. This is the moment where everything connects. Your past with a training ground. It taught you resilience. Your present is the platform. It is where you stand tall. Your future is the promise. It is where we are going. Do you know Romans 8:28? It is not just a nice verse to put on a coffee mug. It is a spiritual law. All things work together for good. All things. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the painful. I am actively working them together right now to propel you into this specific moment destiny has been leading you to. You have felt like a failure because you are not where you thought you would be by this age. Silence that lie. You are exactly where I need you to be. You are not behind. You are being positioned. I am using your history to build your ministry. I am using your misery to build your message. The very things you were ashamed of will become the keys that unlock prison doors for others. Stand up on the inside. Shake off the shame. Stop hiding your scars. Your scars are your credentials. They prove you fought. They prove you survived. They prove that I am a healer. This is the moment of alignment. The puzzle pieces are snapping together. Can you hear the click? It is the sound of your life finally making sense. I need you to sharpen your spiritual senses. Do you feel that restlessness in your spirit? Do not mistake it for anxiety. Do not run to the doctor for a pill to numb it. That is not fear, that is the birthing pain of the new. It is a holy agitation. You are uncomfortable because you have outgrown your current season. The shell is cracking because the new life is pushing to get out. You have been asking me for a sign. Look around you. The atmosphere is shifting. Conversations are changing. Old interests are fading, and new passions are igniting. You are feeling a pull toward things you never cared about before. You are feeling a sudden distaste for habits that used to comfort you. This is me, stirring the nest. I'm making you uncomfortable in the familiar so that you will be willing to step into the unknown. Learn to discern the difference between a test and a transition. A test is to prove you. A transition is to move you. You are in a transition. And I must warn you, the enemy fights hardest right before the breakthrough. That sudden spike in pressure, that unexpected attack on your family, that wave of discouragement that hit you out of nowhere. It is a sign that you are close. The enemy does not waste ammunition on empty targets. He is attacking you because you are about to cross a threshold. Remember my servant Elijah. He heard the sound of the abundance of rain before a single cloud appeared in the sky. I am asking you to hear the sound of your rain today. Close your eyes. Listen past the noise of your problems. Listen past the reports of the news. Do you hear it? The rumble of thunder in the distance. That is the sound of my favor approaching. That is the sound of restoration. Dormant dreams are waking up. Things you wrote in a journal 10 years ago and forgot about are suddenly coming back to your mind. That is not a coincidence. I am breathing on the embers. I am resurrecting what you thought was dead. You thought that business idea was gone. You thought that desire for marriage was over. You thought your chance to serve me was past. Though I just put them on the shelf until you were ready. You are ready now. The season has turned. Winter is over. The spiritual temperature is rising. Do not cling to the heavy coat of your past season. It will only weigh you down. Open your hands. Open your heart. Anticipate the new. Wake up every morning with a holy expectation. Ask me, Father, what are you doing today? I want to be part of it. The shift is here. Walk in it. My beloved, we need to have a hard conversation. I love you too much to let you stay stuck. You are standing at the border of your promised land, but you are still dressed like a slave from Egypt. You cannot enter the palace while wearing the rags of a victim. It is time to change your clothes. I know you have been hurt. I know people treated you unfairly. I saw the betrayal. I felt the knife in your back. But you cannot keep rehearsing the trauma of yesterday if you want to walk in the victory of tomorrow. As long as you blame them for where you are, you give them power over your future. Take your power back. Forgive them. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free. Release the bitterness. It is a poison you are drinking while hoping the other person dies. Spit it out. Let it go. I am calling you by a new name today. You have called yourself forsaken. You have called yourself unwanted. You have called yourself failure. I am stripping those labels off your forehead. I call you delight. I call you chosen. I call you masterpiece. I call you victor. Stop telling the story of your pain to everyone who will listen. Stop seeking sympathy for your wounds. Sympathy is a cheap substitute for healing. I want to heal you, not just comfort you in your sickness. Rise up. Pick up your mat and walk. The paralysis is over. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a victor in my kingdom. You must leave the comfort of your pain. Yes, pain can be comfortable because it is familiar. You know who you are when you are the struggling one. But who are you when you are the prosperous one? Who are you when you are the happy one? It is scary to be happy when you are used to being sad. It feels vulnerable. But I am inviting you into joy. Put on the garment of praise. Literally. Open your mouth and thank me. Thank me that you survived. Thank me that you are still standing. Thank me that your mind is sound. Praise breaks the heavy yoke of depression. You cannot be a victim and a praiser at the same time. Choose praise. I am washing your eyes with eye salve so you can see yourself as I see you. You are royalty. You are a warrior. You are a child of the Most High God. Act like it. Walk with your head held high. Speak with confidence. When the old thoughts come creeping back, poor me, life is so hard, rest them. Say no. That is not my language anymore. I have a destiny to fulfill. I have a race to run. I have no time for self-pity. My future is too bright to be clouded by the past. Guys, do not dare scroll away. If you leave now, you walk back into the arms of the victim identity I just freed you from, and that breaks my heart. Do not settle for the wilderness while I am opening the gates to the promised land. I am about to pour fresh oil upon your head in the very next moment. Do not reject the anointing I have prepared specifically for you. Today, the transformation is not finished, and I need you to receive the rest. My child, you are entering a new era, and you cannot operate on yesterday's oil. The challenges you are about to face are different. The opportunities opening up before you are bigger. New levels require new devils, yes, but they also require a fresh anointing. And I am pouring that fresh oil upon your head right now. Feel it running down. It is the oil of Eve. It is the oil of gladness. Things that used to be hard for you. The struggle to discipline yourself, the battle to control your temper, the fight to stay consistent, are about to become easy. Why? Because my anointing breaks the yoke. You have been trying to fix yourself with willpower. Willpower is a muscle that gets tired. Anointing is a power that never runs out. I am equipping you with spiritual gifts that have been incubating inside you during the dark times. You thought nothing was happening, but underground, the seed was cracking open. You are going to start speaking with an authority that surprises you. You are going to have insights and wisdom that you didn't learn in books. You will walk into a room and know exactly what to do. That is my spirit flowing through you. I have a specific mantle tailored just for your shoulders. It doesn't fit your neighbor. It doesn't fit your pastor. It fits you. It is shaped for your personality, your experiences, and your sphere of influence. Wear it with humility, but wear it with confidence. You are not an imposter. You are anointed for this. Your capacity is being supernaturally expanded. I know you feel stretched. I know you feel like you are being pulled in 1,000 directions. Do not complain about the stretching. It is creating room for more. You asked for abundance, so I must enlarge your vessel. You asked for influence, so I must expand your territory. Receive this fresh empowerment. Lift your hands and say, I receive it. The fatigue you have been feeling is breaking off. The confusion is clearing like mist in the morning sun. You are receiving the mind of Christ. You are receiving the strength of the ox for the plow. You are dangerous to the kingdom of darkness now. You are no longer a sleeping giant. You are an awakened warrior. Walk in this new power. Heal the sick. Encourage the broken. Speak life to the dead places. The anointing is not just for you to feel good. It is for you to do good. It is fuel for the mission. And your mission is starting now. You are backed by all the resources of heaven. You cannot fail. My child, listen closely to what I am about to tell you, for this is one of the most important things you will ever hear. The battle you are fighting right now is not just about you. It never was. You have been wondering why the struggle feels so intense, why the resistance feels so heavy. It is because you are not just fighting for your own breakthrough. You are fighting for your bloodline. You are fighting for the children who are sleeping in their beds right now, and for the grandchildren who are not yet born. Look back at your family history. Do you see the patterns? Do you see the trail of broken marriages? Do you see the shadow of addiction that has followed the men in your family for decades? Do you see the cycle of poverty where no matter how hard anyone works, they can never seem to get ahead? Do you see the anger that explodes without warning? These are not just bad habits. These are spiritual chains. They are generational curses that have been handed down like an unwanted inheritance. But I have good news for you today. The buck stops here. You are the cycle breaker. I have chosen you, out of all your relatives, to be the one who stands in the gap and says, enough. You are the one who will drive a stake into the ground and declare that this dysfunction goes no further. The trauma ends with you. The poverty ends with you. The divorce ends with you. I know it is hard. I know you feel the pull of the past trying to drag you back into the old ways. That is the enemy trying to protect his territory. But you have something your ancestors did not have. You have a fresh revelation of my power. You have the name that is above every name. You have the authority to sever these cords that have bound your family for generations. I want you to visualize a heavy chain. It stretches back into the darkness of the past, and it is wrapped around your ankles. But look at your hands. I have placed the sword of the Spirit in your grip. Strike the chain. Strike it with your prayer. Strike it with your obedience. Strike it with your declaration. When you break free, you are not just freeing yourself. You are unlocking the destiny of your entire lineage. Your children will not have to fight the same demons you fought. They will start their race where you finished yours. You are clearing the land. You are removing the rocks and the thorns so that they can plant in good soil. This is why the enemy hates you. He knows that if you break through, you liberate 1,000 generations. So, do not give up when the battle gets fierce. Do not think it is strange that the heat is turned up. You are rewiring the DNA of your family's legacy. Stand firm. Speak life over your household. Declare that your house is a house of blessing, not cursing. Declare that your seed shall be mighty in the land. I am with you in this fight, and I assure you, the victory is already yours. The chains are falling. Can you hear them hitting the floor? Walk out of that prison and leave the door open for your family to follow. My beloved, I want to talk to you about doors. You have spent so much time standing in the hallway, knocking on doors that would not open. You have bruised your knuckles pounding on the doors of opportunity, the doors of relationship, and the doors of career advancement. You have cried tears of frustration because you knew you were qualified. You knew you were ready, but the door remained locked. I need you to understand something today. Those doors did not open because I was holding them shut. I closed them for your protection. You wanted that job, but I saw the toxic environment that would have destroyed your soul. You wanted that relationship, but I saw the heartbreak that was waiting down the road. You wanted that approval, but I knew it would become an idol that replaced me. Rejection was not my absence. It was my protection. But now, look up. Look straight ahead. I have set before you an open door that no man can shut. Read that again. No man, no hater, no jealous coworker, no gatekeeper, no economy, and no government can shove the door I have opened for you. When I move with finality. When I say yes, the whole world can scream no, and it will not matter. You have been waiting for human validation. You have been waiting for someone to give you permission to be great. You have been waiting for a certificate, a title, or a pat on the back. Stop waiting. You do not need their permission. You have my endorsement. My signature is on your life. That is the only credential you need. I am calling you to walk through this open door with confidence. Do not tiptoe through it like you are afraid you don't belong. Do not apologize for your blessing. Walk with your head high. Walk with the stride of a son or daughter of the King. This is your time. This is your territory. I have prepared it for you. You will see favor in this season that defies logic. You will see opportunities come to you that you didn't even apply for. You will see phone calls come in from people you haven't spoken to in years. This is the open door anointing. It makes a way where there seems to be no way. But listen to me. You must step through. An open door is useless if you stay in the hallway. You must take the step of faith. You must sign the contract. You must start the business. You must make the move. Do not let fear paralyze you at the threshold. The fear is a liar. The fear is trying to keep you in the hallway of what if. Step out. Step in. The atmosphere on the other side of this door is different. It is the atmosphere of abundance. It is the atmosphere of destiny. I am walking with you. I am holding the door open. All you have to do is move your feet. Trust me. The struggle of the hallway is over. The season of the palace has begun. My child, let us address the whisper that keeps you awake at night. I know the voice. It is the voice that says, "Who do you think you are?" It is the voice that says, "You are a fraud. You are faking it." Soon, everyone is going to find out that you don't know what you're doing. It is the heavy blanket of shame that tries to smother your light. You feel like a child wearing your parents' clothes, too big, too clumsy, out of place. I want to silence that accuser right now. You are feeling this way because you are looking at your own perfection as the standard for your worthiness. You are looking at your resume, your past mistakes, your stutter, your lack of education, or your secret sins, and you are adding them up and saying, "I am not enough." Here is the truth. You are right. On your own, you are not enough. But you are not on your own. You are covered by the blood of the Lamb. Your worthiness does not come from your performance. it comes from my purchase. I bought you with a price. I chose you. Do you think I didn't know your flaws when I called you? Do you think I was surprised by your mistakes? I knew everything about you, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I still looked at you and said, I want that one. Stop disqualifying yourself when I have already qualified you. When you say, I can't be here, you are insulting my judgment. You are saying that I made a mistake in placing you here. I do not make mistakes. If I put you in the room, you belong in the room. If I put you at the table, you belong at the seat. This feeling of being an imposter is actually a sign that you are growing. If you stayed in your comfort zone, you would never feel this way. You feel small because the room I have put you in is big. That is good. That means there is room for you to grow. That means you have to lean on me. My grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in your weakness. When you feel weak, that is when I can be strong in you. If you had it all together, you wouldn't need me. So, bring me your insecurity. Bring me your fear. I will trade it for my confidence. Next time that voice whispers, you don't belong here, I want you to answer it back. Say, you're right. I don't belong here on my own. I am here because my Father sent me. I am here on King's business. That is your authority. You are an ambassador of heaven. An ambassador doesn't worry about their own wealth or power. They represent the wealth and power of the King who sent them. Stand tall. Fix your collar. Wipe the sweat from your brow. You are seated in heavenly places with Christ Jesus. You are the head and not the tail. You are above and not beneath. Own your space. Speak your truth. You are not an imposter. You are my beloved child, and you are exactly where you are supposed to be. My child, we have talked about faith, and we have talked about healing. Now, we must talk about work. We must talk about action. Faith without works is dead. You can pray for rain all day long, but if you do not go out and dig the ditches, the water will have nowhere to go when the rain comes. You are asking for a harvest, but I am asking, where is your basket? Where is your barn? I am bringing a massive blessing into your life, but I need you to be ready to manage it. If I gave you $1 million today, would it bless you, or would it destroy you because you lack the wisdom to steward it? If I sent you 1,000 customers tomorrow, would your business handle it, or would it collapse under the pressure? I am calling you to a season of strategic preparation. This is not the time to be lazy. This is not the time to just go with the flow. This is the time to build the infrastructure for your destiny. I want you to ask me for wisdom. James 1:5 says, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God. Ask me. Ask me how to organize your day. Ask me how to manage your finances. Ask me how to structure your team or your family. You need a strategy. You need a plan. Stop waiting for a magic wand to wave and fix your chaotic life. I am a God of order. Look at creation. I brought order out of chaos. I want you to do the same in your life. Clean your house. Organize your papers. Fix the broken things. Pay the small debts. Be faithful in the little things so I can trust you with the big things. I see you overwhelmed by the magnitude of the dream. Do not look at the mountain. Look at the next step. What is the one thing you can do today? Do that. And do the next thing. Step by step, the wall is built. Step by step, the harvest is gathered. I am sending you the how-to. Listen to the Holy Spirit. He is the ultimate strategist. He will give you witty inventions. He will show you shortcuts that save you years of effort. You will highlight a book you need to read or a person you need to talk to. Pay attention to those nudges. That is the strategy downloading into your spirit. Do not be a hearer of the word only. Be a doer. Get your hands dirty. Sharpen your sickle. The fields are white for harvest, but the laborers are few. Be a laborer. Show me that you are serious about this destiny. When I see you preparing, I know you are believing. When I see you digging ditches in the dry valley, I know you are expecting the water. And I promise you, the water is coming. The windows of heaven are opening. Be ready to catch what I pour out. Listen closely. Do not disconnect. To stop now is to take the blueprint but leave the power behind. It deeply grieves my spirit when my children start a work but do not have the endurance to finish it. I am about to perform spiritual surgery to remove the toxic relationships that have held you back for years. You cannot afford to miss this. Do not turn your back on the freedom I am handing you. We are going deeper. Walk with me. My child, I have just spoken to you about stewardship and preparing for the harvest. But remember the spiritual law. You cannot reap where you have not sown. This ministry is a fertile field, a river of life that I am using to feed hungry souls across the nations. And today I am inviting you to help widen the stream. As you stand on the brink of your finally moment, demonstrate your trust in my provision by sowing a seed into this good ground right now. Do not hold back your hand when your season of abundance is standing at the door. Show me that you are ready to be a partner in my work. Support this mission through Super Thanks membership, or the PayPal link found in the description, and watch how I multiply what remains in your hand. I declare that as you water this vineyard, your own garden will never run dry, and the devourer will be rebuked for your sake. So today, for the harvest you desire is wrapped in the seed you release. My beloved, this is a tender subject, but we must face it. As you go higher, your circle will get smaller. You have noticed it already, haven't you? The distance growing between you and people you used to be close to. The awkward silences. The feeling that you no longer speak the same language. You try to share your new dreams, and they look at you with blank stares or worse, with cynicism. You are grieving this loss. You are trying to hold on to them. You are dragging them along, trying to convince them to grow with you. But my child, you cannot force people to go where they are not called. Not everyone can go where I am taking you. Some people are anchors and some people are sails. You cannot cross the ocean of destiny with anchors tied to your feet. This does not mean they are bad people. It just means their part in your story is over. They were scaffolding for the building of your past, but they are not part of the structure of your future. You must discern the difference between a Lot and a Jonathan. Lot was a distraction to Abraham. He caused trouble and delayed the promise. Jonathan was a covenant friend to David. He strengthened his hand in God. You need Jonathans. You have too many Lots. It is painful to outgrow relationships. It feels like betrayal, but it is actually a graduation. You are graduating to a new level of spiritual maturity, and you need a tribe that matches your frequency. You need people who will fuel your fire, not dampen it with their doubts. You need people who are not intimidated by your light. I am asking you to bless them and release them. Do not hold bitterness. Do not judge them for staying behind. Just love them from a distance. Stop casting your pearls before swine, meaning, stop sharing your precious dreams with people who cannot value them. They trample on your dreams because they do not understand the value. I am bringing you a new tribe. I am bringing you runners who can keep up with your pace. I am bringing you mentors who have been where you are going. I am bringing you peers who will sharpen you as iron sharpens iron. You will know them when you meet them. Your spirit will leap. The connection will be instant and deep. But you must make room for them. You cannot fill your cup with fresh water if it is still full of stagnant water. Pour out the old. Let go of the guilt of moving on. It is okay to be misunderstood. It is okay to be the crazy one who trusts God too much. Walk your path. The right people will find you when you are in your right place. I am curating your circle. Trust my selection. You are never alone when you are with me, and I am sending the family you truly need for this next leg of the journey. My child, I know you have been looking at the calendar with a sinking feeling in your stomach. You count the years, and you do not see the progress you expected. You compare your life to others, people you went to school with who seem to be miles ahead, friends who are celebrating anniversaries while you are still waiting for a partner, colleagues who are buying homes while you are still renting. You feel the heavy breath of time on your neck, whispering that it is too late for you. You feel like you missed your window of opportunity, like you woke up late for the most important day of your life. Listen to me closely. I am the creator of time. I stand outside of it. I am not bound by the ticking clock that stresses you out. You think you are behind. In whose eyes? By the world's standards, perhaps. But in my kingdom, the last shall be first. I have a promise for you from the book of Joel. I will restore the years the locusts have eaten. Do you understand what that means? It means I can do in a moment what takes men a lifetime to accomplish. You are worried about the lost decade, the years you spent in the dead-end job, the years you wasted in the toxic relationship, the years you spent running from my call. You think those years are gone forever. But I am the Redeemer. I do not just redeem souls. I redeem time. I can compress time. I can accelerate your destiny so fast that your head will spin. Stop regretting the delay. The delay was protection. The delay was preparation. And now, I am bringing suddenlies into your life. When I move swiftly. You will experience a supernatural catch-up that defies natural logic. You will jump over hurdles that took others years to climb. You will find yourself in rooms that people worked 20 years to enter, and you will walk in simply because I opened the door. Do not look at the gray hairs or the wrinkles and think your best days are behind you. Moses started his mission at 80. Caleb took his mountain at 85. Your age is not a barrier. It is a testament to your endurance. I am refreshing your youth like the eagles. I am renewing your strength. Release the anxiety of the ticking clock. Give it to me. Say, Father, I trust your timing. When you trust me, you step out of the frantic race of the world and into the steady rhythm of my grace. You are right on time. You have not missed your boat. You were just waiting for the captain to arrive. And I am here. We are setting sail now. The wind of my spirit is filling your sails, and we are going to make up for every lost second. My child, I want to hand you a weapon today. You have been fighting your battles with worry, with complaint, and with begging. And you are exhausted. You are tired of crying yourself to sleep. You are tired of venting to your friends and feeling no better afterwards. I want you to pick up a different sword. It is the weapon of gratitude. You might say, Lord, what do I have to be grateful for? My life is a mess. My bills are unpaid. My body hurts. I know. I see it all. But gratitude is not a reaction to good circumstances. It is a spiritual strategy to change bad circumstances. When you praise me before the answer comes, you are confusing the enemy. He expects you to crumble. He expects you to be bitter. But when you lift your hands in the middle of the storm and say, Thank you, God, that you are good, you send a shockwave through the spiritual realm. Complaint delays the promise. Remember the Israelites. They complained in the desert, and an 11-day journey took them 40 years. Do not be like them. Grumbling acts like a lock on the door of your destiny. Praise acts like a key. When you complain, you are magnifying the problem. When you praise, you are magnifying me. And when I am magnified, your problems look very small. I challenge you right now. Look around the room you are in. Find 3 things to thank me for. Is there a roof over your head? Thank me. Is there breath in your lungs? Thank me. Did you eat today? Thank me. Start small. As you begin to thank me, the atmosphere in your room will change. The heaviness will lift. You are creating an environment where miracles can dwell comfortably. Use gratitude to secure your territory. Wake up in the morning and before your feet hit the floor, say, "Thank you for this day." Go to bed at night and say, "Thank you for sustaining me." This is not just positive thinking. This is spiritual warfare. You are building a fortress of praise that the enemy cannot breach. Remember my faithfulness in the past. Remember when you didn't know how you would pay that bill and the money showed up. Remember when you thought your heart would never heal and you laughed again. I did it before, and I will do it again. Let your memory feed your faith. Stop rehearsing your fears and start rehearsing your testimonies. Open your mouth. I know it feels heavy. I know you don't feel like it. But offer a sacrifice of praise. The sacrifice means it costs you something. It costs you your pride. It costs you your feelings. But the reward is my presence. And in my presence is fullness of joy. My brave one, do not be surprised that a giant is standing in front of you right now. You have been asking for a big destiny, and big destinies are always guarded by big giants. You are facing a situation that looks impossible. Maybe it is a legal battle that seems unwinnable. Maybe it is a medical diagnosis that has shaken your family. Maybe it is a financial debt that looks like a mountain. The enemy has sent this giant to intimidate you. He wants you to look at the size of the problem and run back to safety. He wants you to think you are a grasshopper. But look at me. How big is your God? Is this giant bigger than me? Is this cancer bigger than me? Is this lawsuit bigger than me? Is this addiction bigger than me? Nothing is higher than the name of Jesus. You are like David. You have been training for this moment in secret. You fought the lion and the bear when no one was watching, those private battles with depression, those secret wars with temptation. You won those. And because you won those, you are ready for Goliath. This giant is not here to kill you. He is here to promote you. You cannot be a giant slayer without a giant. Stop trembling. Stop calling your friends in a panic. Stand your ground. Ephesians 6 tells you to put on the whole armor of God, and having done all, to stand. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is just plant your feet and refuse to move. Refuse to accept the report of the enemy. Refuse to accept the defeat. These giants are merely bread for you. That means they will nourish you. Taking down this problem is going to feed your faith for the next level. It is going to give you a testimony that will shake the world. I am with you on the battlefield. I am guiding your stone. You only need one smooth stone of faith. Fling it. Speak my word at the problem. Do not talk about the problem to me. Talk to the problem about me. Tell that mountain to move. Tell that sickness to flee. Tell that debt to dissolve. The victory is already won in the spiritual realm. I have already declared the end from the beginning. You are just walking it out in time. So wipe your tears. Square your shoulders. Walk toward the giant, not away from him. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. And this one is coming down today. My child, let us talk about your resources. I know the stress you carry. I know the mental gymnastics you do every month to make ends meet. I know the fear that grips you when you check your bank balance. You have accepted this struggle as normal. You have even thought that maybe poverty is holy. Let me break that lie right now. I am the owner of the cattle on 1,000 hills. The silver is mine, and the gold is mine. It brings me no glory for my children to be begging for bread. It brings me no glory for you to be drowning in debt, unable to sleep because of financial worry. I want to bring a financial breakthrough into your life, but not just for your comfort. Yes, I want you to have a nice home. Yes, I want you to provide for your family. But the purpose of wealth in my kingdom is to establish my covenant. I want to bless you so you can be a blessing. I am looking for pipes, not buckets. A bucket collects water for itself. A pipe lets water flow through it to water the garden. If you decide today to be a conduit, to say, Lord, if you get it to me, you can get it through me. I will trust you with resources you never dreamed of. I want to fund the vision I have placed in your heart. A business idea. It needs capital. Administer. It needs funding. A desire to help orphans and widows. It requires money. Do not be afraid of money. Money is a tool. In the hands of a righteous person, it destroys the works of the devil. I am breaking the spirit of poverty off your mind. Stop saying I can't afford it and start asking how can I afford it. Stop saying I'm broke and start declaring I am overcoming. Your words are setting the boundaries of your financial reality. Trust me to be Jehovah Jireh, your provider. I can bring provision from unexpected places. I can give you favor with investors. I can give you a promotion you didn't qualify for. I can make your investments multiply. But you must trust me with the seed. Be faithful with your tithe and your offering. Not because I need your money, but because you need to break the grip of greed on your heart. When you open your hand to give, you open your hand to receive. Get ready. I am shifting resources from the wicked to the just. I am preparing a transfer of wealth for the end-time harvest. Position yourself. Be a wise steward. Manage well what you have now, even if it is little, and I will make you ruler over much. The days of lack are ending. The days of kingdom abundance are beginning. Wait. You not move. You have received the promise of provision, but what good is the blessing if your soul is still bleeding? If you click away now, you choose to remain broken, and that tears at my heart. I am about to touch the deepest, most hidden wound in your soul. Do not walk out of the operating room before the healing is complete. I want to make you whole. Stay for the healing. My beloved, I want to go deep with you now. We have talked about the battles outside, but I want to talk about the battle inside. I see the wounds you cover up. I see the scars on your soul that no one else knows about. The words that were spoken over you as a child that still ring in your ears. The abuse that stole your innocence. The rejection that made you feel worthless. You have tried to move forward, but you are limping. You are trying to heal others while you are bleeding yourself. You cannot run your race with this heavy baggage. It is time to set it down. It is time for deep, radical inner healing. I am the great physician. I do not just put a bandage on the wound. I cleanse it. I go to the root. I want you to invite me into those dark memories. The places you are afraid to look at. The memories you have locked in a box and thrown away the key. Invite me there. I will not bring shame. I will bring light. I want you to forgive yourself. You have been punishing yourself for years for mistakes you made when you were hurting. You have been your own worst judge. You look in the mirror and see damaged goods. I look at you and see a vessel of honor. I see a warrior who survived. My love is a balm. Let it seep into the cracks of your heart. Let it soothe the stinging pain of betrayal. Let it wash away the stain of guilt. You are clean. You are new. The old has passed away. Your scars are not ugly to me. They are proof of my healing power. They will become your stars. You will use your story to help others. You will look a broken person in the eye and say, I know how you feel, but let me tell you about the God who healed me. Your pain has a purpose. Wholeness is your portion. I want you whole in your spirit, your soul, and your body. I do not want you fragmented. I do not want you wearing a mask. I want the real you to emerge. Receive my healing now. It is flowing over you like warm oil. It is touching the hurt child inside you. It is whispering, you are safe now. You are loved. You are enough. Breathe it in. Let the tears fall if they need to. Tears are liquid prayers. I'm catching them all. You are rising from this operating table with a new heart. You are ready to love again. You are ready to live again. My child, draw close to me. We need to speak about the vessel that carries the oil. You have asked me for power. You have asked me for influence. You have asked me to use you to shake nations and change lives. I am ready to do that. But the question is not whether I have the power to give. The question is whether you have the purity to carry it. Destiny demands purity. You cannot carry holy fire in a dirty vessel. If I pour my raw power into a life that is compromised, full of secret sins and hidden cracks, that power will not bless you. It will destroy you. I love you too much to let you self-destruct on the platform of your success. This is why I am calling you to a higher standard. This is why I am calling you to holiness. Do not cringe at that word. Holiness is not about a list of rules that make you miserable. Holiness is about wholeness. It is about being the same person in the dark as you are in the light. It is about integrity. The world is full of people who are talented but toxic. They have gifts but no character. And when the pressure comes, they crack, and the fall is great. I am building you to last. I am calling you to consecrate yourself anew to my service. That means setting yourself apart. You cannot do what everyone else does and expect to go where I am taking you. You cannot watch what they watch, speak how they speak, and entertain the habits they entertain. You are called to be in the world, but not of it. You are a citizen of heaven living on foreign soil. I see the temptations that surround you. I see the pressure to compromise your values to get ahead, to cut corners, to lie just a little bit to look better. Do not do it. Integrity is your currency in the spiritual realm. When you walk in integrity, you walk with my protection. When you compromise, you open a door for the enemy to enter. Be careful when the spotlight hits you. Success has a way of revealing what is truly inside a man. If there is pride, success will magnify it. If there is lust, success will fuel it. That is why we must deal with these things now, in the secret place, before the public promotion comes. Let my fire burn away the dross now. Your lifestyle is the only Bible some people will ever read. People are tired of hearing sermons. They want to see a sermon lived out. They are watching how you treat the waiter. They are watching how you react when someone cuts you off in traffic. They are watching how you handle your money. They are looking for evidence that I am real. Be that evidence. Make a covenant with your eyes. Guard your mind. Keep your hands clean. This is not about being perfect. It is about being pure in art. When you mess up, and you will, run to me, not away from me. Wash yourself in the Word. Repent quickly. Keep your account short with me. I am preparing you for a weight of glory that requires a strong moral spine. Stand tall. Be holy, for I am holy. And in your holiness, you will find a freedom and a power that the world cannot understand. You will walk into rooms and the atmosphere will shift, not because of what you say, but because of who you carry inside you. My beloved, look outward. Up until now, we have focused on your healing, your breakthrough, and your preparation. But I want to remind you of the ultimate purpose of all this blessing. Your destiny is not just about you. It is not just about you getting the house, the car, the spouse, or the career. It is about saving others. I am blessing you so that you can be a distribution center for my grace. The world around you is decaying. Look at the news. Look at the brokenness in your city. People are lost. They are confused. They are drowning in darkness without hope. You are the salt of the earth. Salt stops decay. Salt brings flavor. Salt makes people thirsty. Your life should make people thirsty for me. When they see your peace in the middle of a storm, they should wonder, how do they do that? When they see your joy when everything is going wrong, they should ask, what is your secret? You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. I did not light your candle to put it under a basket. I lit you up to put you on a lampstand so you can give light to the whole house. Do not hide your faith. Do not be ashamed of my name. In a world that is screaming its lies, you must be bold enough to whisper the truth. Use your platform to point people to the cross. Whether you are a teacher, a CEO, a mother, or an artist, that is your pulpit. You do not need a microphone to preach. You preach with your kindness. You preach with your excellence. You preach with your compassion. Compassion was the heartbeat of my son, Jesus. Every time he did a miracle, it started with compassion. He saw the multitude and was moved with compassion. Do you see the multitude? Or do you only see your own problems? I am asking you to lift your eyes. Ask me to break your heart for what breaks mine. There is someone out there who is waiting for your testimony. They are locked in a prison of addiction, or depression, or hopelessness. You hold the key. Your story, the very things you went through, the pain you survived, is the key that unlocks their cell. If you stay silent, they stay bound. But if you open your mouth and share what I have done for you, chains will fall off them. You are my hands and feet. I have no body on earth now but yours. I need your hands to touch the leper. I need your feet to walk into the dark alleys. I need your arms to hug the unlovable. Do not isolate yourself in a bubble of comfort. Go into all the world. Make disciples. This is the Great Commission, not the Great Suggestion. You are on a mission. Every morning when you wake up, report for duty. Ask me, Lord, who can I bless today? Who needs a word of encouragement? Watch how I bring people across your path. Watch how divine appointments start to happen. Your legacy will not be measured by what you accumulated, but by what you gave away. It will be measured by how many people will be in heaven because of you. Life for eternity. Life for the impact. You are a history maker, a world changer. The creation is groaning, waiting for the sons and daughters of God to be revealed. That is you. Shine your light, my child. Shine it bright. My child, listen to the rhythm of my voice. Peace. Stillness. Rest. I know you are running hard. I know the pressure you feel to make it happen. You live in a world that glorifies the hustle, that applauds burnout, that tells you if you are not exhausted, you are not working hard enough. That is the world's system, not mine. I did not design you to run on empty. I did not create you to be a machine that never stops. I created you to function from a place of rest. Do not mistake busyness for fruitfulness. You can be spinning your wheels, making a lot of noise, and going nowhere. Or you can be still, listening to my strategy, and accomplish more in 1 hour of obedience than in a year of striving. I am calling you back to the Sabbath principle. It is not a suggestion. It is a command for your own good. You need to stop. You need to disconnect. You need to unplug from the noise of social media, the demands of email, and the constant striving for more. When you rest, you are declaring, God, I trust you. I trust that the world will keep spinning without my help. I trust that you can build my house while I sleep. Sleep is a spiritual act of trust. When you close your eyes at night, you are surrendering control. You are admitting that you are human and I am God. Stop staying up late, worrying about tomorrow. Psalm 127 says, I give sleep to my beloved. You are my beloved. Take the gift. Avoid the trap of burnout. Burnout happens when you try to do my work without my power. It happens when you take the yoke of the world upon your shoulders. My yoke is easy, and my burden is light. If what you are carrying feels heavy, crushing, and overwhelming, check the yoke. You might be carrying a burden I never asked you to carry. You might be carrying the expectations of others or the need to please people. Put it down. Remember Mary and Martha. Martha was busy, distracted, working hard to serve. He thought she was doing the right thing. But Mary sat at my feet and listened. And I told them that Mary had chosen the better part. Service is good, but sitting is better. You cannot serve me if you do not know me. And you cannot know me if you are always running. Come away with me to a quiet place. Let your soul catch up with your body. Breathe. In the silence, I will download the answers you have been frantically searching for. In the stillness, I will refuel your tank. You cannot pour from an empty cup. I am protecting you from the crash. If you do not choose to rest, your body will eventually choose it for you. Do not wait for crisis to slow down. Slow down now. Walk with me in the cool of the day. Enjoy the journey. I am not a taskmaster driving a slave. I am a father walking with his child. Let's walk together at a pace of race. Rest, my child. Rest in my finished work. It is already done. My child, we must secure the fortress. Proverbs 4:23 tells you to keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it spring the issues of life. Your heart is the control center. It is the wellspring. If the water at the source is poisoned, everything downstream will be toxic. Your life, your decisions, your relationships, they all flow from the condition of your heart. I need you to become a vigilant gatekeeper. You have gates, your eyes and your ears. What are you letting in? You cannot spend hours consuming the fear of the news, the filth of the world, and the comparison trap of social media, and then expect to have a heart full of faith and peace. Garbage in, garbage out. If you feed your spirit with junk, your spirit will be weak. Protect your ear gate. Who are you listening to? Are you listening to gossip? Are you listening to people who tell you it can't be done? Are you listening to music that glorifies darkness? These things are seeds. They drop into the soil of your heart, and they grow roots. Roots of bitterness, roots of fear, roots of lust. Pull them out. Stop the flow. Tune your ear to my frequency. Protect your eye gate. What are you looking at? The lamp of the body is the eye. If your eye is good, your whole body is full of light. But if you are staring at things that defile you, you are filling your inner world with darkness. Be disciplined. Turn it off. Look away. Keep your vision pure so you can see me clearly. Watch out for pride. Pride is the silent killer of destiny. It sneaks in when you start to succeed. It whispers, "I did this. I am smart. I am better than them." Pride makes you unteachable. Pride disconnects you from my grace, because I resist the proud but give grace to the humble. Stay low. The lower you stay in humility, the higher I can lift you in authority. Do not let your heart become hard. Life can make you cynical. People will hurt you. Disappointments will come. The temptation is to build a wall around your heart to protect it. But a wall that keeps pain out also keeps love out. It keeps me out. Keep your heart tender. Or do quickly. Let offenses roll off you like water off a duck's back. Refuse to let the cares of this world choke the word. You are planting good seeds, but the weeds of worry are trying to strangle them. Anxiety about tomorrow, deceitfulness of riches, these are weeds. Pull them out by the root. Stay sensitive to the whisper of the Holy Spirit. He speaks in a still, small voice. If your heart is cluttered with noise and worldly debris, you will miss His guidance. And you cannot afford to miss His guidance in this season. One word from Him can save your life. One direction from Him can change your destiny. Treat your heart like a royal garden. Tend to it every day. Water it with my word. Shine the light of my presence on it. Weed out the negatives. When your heart is right, your life will be right. Guard it, my child. It is your most precious treasure. Do not silence my voice now. We are standing at the precipice of your victory. If you stop here, you leave your most powerful weapon on the table, and you return to the battle unarmed. It disappoints me to see you fight with your hands tied when I am about to give you the power of a king. I am about to unlock your tongue to decree your destiny. Do not leave before you receive your authority. Finish the race. My beloved, we have spoken of guarding your heart, for I have told you that where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. If this message has been the bread of life to your spirit and a shield for your peace, do not just consume it, partner with it to keep the fire burning. I am calling you to invest in the very thing that strengthens your soul, prioritizing my word above the fleeting entertainment of this world. By supporting this channel via Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, you are not merely spending money, you are storing up treasure in heaven and ensuring this light continues to shine for others who are lost in the dark. As you honor the source of your spiritual feeding, I promise to honor you with a surplus that the world cannot explain. Do not let this moment pass without action. Click the link, release your gift, and secure the blessing that comes to the cheerful giver. My child, I have given you a superpower that you are barely using. It is right there, under your nose, literally. It is your time. The power of life and death is in the tongue. You are made in my image, and how did I create the universe? I spoke. I said, "Let there be light," and there was light. I did not think it, I spoke it. You are a speaking spirit. Your words are not just sounds, they are containers of power. They are creative forces. When you speak, you are either dispatching angels or you are empowering demons. You are either building your future or you are tearing it down. Stop describing your situation and start declaring your destination. You look at your bank account and say, I am broke. You look at your body and say, I am sick. You look at your family and say, it's a mess. You are prophesying, but you are prophesying the wrong things. You are agreeing with the enemy. Stop it. I want you to prophesy to the dry bones in your life. Remember Ezekiel. He stood in a valley of dry, dead bones. And I didn't tell him to pray about the bones. I told him to prophesy to the bones. I told him to speak to them. I am telling you to speak to your situation. Open your mouth and say, bank account, fill up in the name of Jesus. Body be healed. Marriage be restored. Anxiety go. Line your confession with my profession over you. I say you are the head. Why do you say you are the tail? I say you are healed. Why do you say you are sick? I say you are more than a conqueror. Why do you say you can't make it? Your words are the rudder of your ship. If you want to change the direction of your life, change the words in your mouth. Speak solution instead of talking about the problem. Talking about the problem just makes the mountain bigger. Speaking the solution moves the mountain. Find my promise for your situation, put it in your mouth, and fire it like a weapon. My God shall supply all my needs. Say it until you believe it. Say it until you see it. Decree a thing, and it shall be established. A decree is an official order from a king. You are royalty. Issue a decree today. Decree peace over your home. Decree favor over your job. Decree salvation over your children. Do not underestimate the creative power of the spoken word of God. Thy word does not return to me void. It accomplishes what it was sent to do. When you speak my word, you are returning it to me, and I watch over it to perform it. Silence the negative talk. No more self-deprecation. No more I'm so stupid. I'm so clumsy. I'll never learn. Cancel those words. Replace them with I have the mind of Christ. I am graced for this. I am learning and growing. Your voice is the trigger. Pull the trigger. Release the power. The atmosphere around you is waiting for a command. Give it one. Speak life, my child. Speak life. My child, I know that you are standing at a crossroads. I see you holding the map of your life, turning it upside down, trying to figure out whether you are here pin is. You are frustrated because the path ahead is not clear. You want a floodlight that shows you the next 10 years, but I have given you a flashlight that only shows you the next step. You are asking, Lord, what if I make a mistake? What if I choose the wrong job? What if I move it to the wrong city? What if I miss it? I need you to take a deep breath and hand me the map. You are trying to figure out the destination before you have even started the journey. Trusting me means walking when you can't see. Faith is not knowing where you are going. Faith is knowing who you are going with. You are afraid of the unknown because you feel the need to control the outcome. You think that if you plan every detail, you can prevent pain. You think if you overanalyze every option, you will guarantee success. But that is not faith. That is fear masquerading as wisdom. I want you to release the need for certainty and embrace the adventure of surrender. Do you trust me? Do you trust that I am your GPS? Even if you make a wrong turn, do you not think I am powerful enough to say recalculating? There is no mistake you can make that is bigger than my ability to redeem. You cannot mess up my plan for your life as easily as you think. If your heart is postured toward me, even your missteps will become part of the dance. I will make the crooked places straight. I will make a highway in the wilderness. You are standing on the edge of a fog. It looks scary because you cannot see what is inside. But I am already in the fog. I am waiting for you to step in. The moment you lift your foot and take that scare step, the moment you send that email, sign that lease, or say yes to that opportunity, the fog will clear just enough for the next step. I am teaching you dependency. If I showed you the whole picture, you would run ahead of me, or you would be too terrified to start. I give you manna for today. I give you light for today. So, stop paralyzing yourself with what ifs. What if I fail? But my child, what if you fly? What if I lose everything? But what if you gain the kingdom? The unknown is where miracles happen. You cannot walk on water if you stay in the boat. You have to step out into the waves where it doesn't make sense. I am commanding you today, take the step. Do it afraid if you have to. Your knees might be shaking, but as long as your feet are moving, I can work with you. I am the God of the unknown. I dwell in the thick darkness as well as the light. When you walk into the mystery with your hand in mine, the unknown becomes a place of discovery, not a place of dread. Let go of the steering wheel. I know the way. I am the way. My beloved, let us talk about the storm that has been raging in your mind. I know about the nights you lie awake, staring at the clock, watching the hours tick by, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., while your mind races with 1,000 scenarios of disaster. I know the tightness in your chest that hits you in the middle of a workday. I know the panic that grips your throat when the phone rings unexpectedly. You have accepted anxiety as a roommate, but I am serving it an eviction notice today. I am offering you my covenant of peace. This is not the peace that the world gives. The world's peace is fragile. It depends on everything going right. The world says you can have peace when the bills are paid, when the kids are acting right, when your health is perfect. But my peace is different. My peace is a paradox. My peace walks into the middle of a hurricane and sleeps in the boat. My peace stands in the lion's den and isn't afraid of the teeth. I give you my shalom. Shalom is not just a nice feeling. It is a spiritual force. It means nothing missing, nothing broken. It is the umpire of your soul. When a thought comes to your mind, a thought of fear, rejection, or doom, I want you to check it against my peace. Does the thought bring peace? No. And blow the whistle. Call a foul. Throw the thought out of the game. Do not let thoughts that steal your peace set up camp in your living room. You have been begging me to calm the storm around you, but I want to calm the storm inside you first. When you have peace inside, the chaos outside cannot touch you. It is like a submarine. A submarine can go into the deepest, darkest, highest pressure parts of the ocean and not be crushed. Why? Because the pressure inside the submarine is equal to the pressure outside. I am pressurizing you with my peace. I command you to stop partnering with chaos. Stop agreeing with the drama. When the enemy whispers, "It's all going to fall apart," you answer with my peace. You say, "No. My Father holds the world in his hands. I will not fear." Visualize a heavy, warm blanket. That is my peace. I am wrapping it around your shoulders right now. Feel the weight of it. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw. Take a deep breath. I am here. I am guarding your heart and your mind. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. That is a promise. And the weapon of anxiety will not prosper against you either. You are a child of the King. The King's house is a house of order, not confusion. Claim your inheritance. Walk into your house today and declare, "Peace, be still." Speak it to your children. Speak it to your finances. Peace is your guard. It stands at the door of your heart with a sword, stopping the lies from entering. Rest in the security. You are safe. I have you. My child, we are nearing the end of this conversation, but the race is just beginning. And in a race, the runner who looks at the crowd loses. The runner who looks at the other runners trips. The only way to win is to keep your eyes locked on the finish line. I need you to develop a holy focus. There are so many distractions fighting for your attention. The world is a noisy place. It is screaming for your time, your money, and your energy. You have the distraction of criticism, people who don't understand your journey and have plenty of opinions about it. And you have the distraction of applause, people who praise you and make you feel like you have arrived so you stop growing. Both are traps. I need you to put on your blinders. Like a horse running a race, you cannot look to the left or the right. If you look to the left at your haters, you get bitter. If you look to the right at your competitors, you get jealous. Look at me. Fix your eyes on Jesus, the author and finisher of your faith. I started this work in you, and I am the only one who can finish it. You are worried about what people think. You are worried about your reputation. My child, you are building a kingdom that is not of this world. Earth is not your final home. You are just passing through. Stop trying to build a mansion on sinking sand. Build your treasures in heaven, where moth and rust do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. When you feel tired, when your legs feel heavy and you want to quit, remember the prize. Remember the why. You are not running for a plastic trophy that will gather dust. You are running for an imperishable crown. You are running to hear those words, "Well done, good and faithful servant." I am calling you to endurance. The race is not given to the swift or the strong, but to the one who endures to the end. There will be days when you have to run with tears in your eyes. Run anyway. There will be days when you feel alone. Run anyway. You not get entangled in the affairs of civilian life. You are a soldier. You have a mission. Does this activity help your mission? Does this relationship support your race? If not, cut the weight. Hebrews 12 says to lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us. Some things are not sins, but they are weights. They are heavy. They slow you down. Drop them. Your focus is your fuel. What you focus on extends. If you focus on the obstacles, they will look like mountains. If you focus on me, the mountains will look like molehills. Keep your gaze lifted. Look up. Your redemption draws near. The finish line is closer than you think. Do not stop now. You have come too far to give up. The grandstands of heaven are full. The great cloud of witnesses is cheering you on. Can you hear them? They are chanting your name. Keep running. My precious child, we have arrived at the moment of commissioning. We have walked through your past. We have dealt with your pain. We have broken the chains and we have equipped you for the future. Now, the time for talking is ending, and the time for moving is beginning. You have been standing on the edge of the diving board for too long, shivering, wondering if the water is cold, wondering if you can swim. I am telling you, jump. I am catching you. The hesitation stops today. Procrastination dies today. The spirit of fear is broken off your life right now in the name of Jesus. I am commissioning you. I am sending you out. You are not going out as an orphan. You are going out as a son, as a daughter, fully empowered and fully equipped. My hand is upon you. My spirit is within you. My angels surround you. You are a weapon in my hand. You are a light in my darkness. I command you, go forth. Go into your family and bring peace. Go into your workplace and bring excellence. Go into your marketplace and bring integrity. Go into your city and bring revival. Do not wait for permission from man. I have already authorized you. You have the badge of my authority. Step into your destiny with boldness. Stop apologizing for your existence. Stop shrinking back to make others comfortable. You were born for such a time as this. The world is waiting for you to take your place. The creation is groaning for you to reveal who you really are. I promise you this. I am with you always. I am with you in the boardroom. I am with you in the courtroom. I am with you in the hospital room. I am with you in the lonely nights and the celebratory mornings. You will never, ever walk alone again. When you speak, I will fill your mouth. When you lay hands on the sick, I will release the healing. When you step out in faith, I will meet you there. Finally, my child, your time is here. Not next year. Not next month. Now. This is the moment destiny has been leading you to. The tears were for this. The wilderness was for this. The battles were for this. It all makes sense now. Lift your hands and receive my final blessing. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Now go. The door is open. The path is clear. The giant is defeated. The harvest is ready. Walk out of this place and change your world. I love you with an everlasting love. Go and be the blessing you were created to be. I am watching, and I am smiling. It is time. You have heard my call to step into your destiny, and understand this. Part of your high calling is to be a financier of my kingdom. I have blessed you so that you may be a blessing, and there is no greater work than spreading my word to the brokenhearted who are crying out for an answer. Join hands with this mission today. Become the wind beneath these wings through your super thanks, membership, or by using the PayPal link in the description. This is your opportunity to preach to nations you may never visit by empowering the voice that speaks to them. As you give, I decree that the windows of heaven are opening over your finances, pouring out a measure that is pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Do not hesitate at the threshold of generosity. Sow your seed now and ignite the cycle of supernatural abundance in your life. My child, do not let this word evaporate into the air. Anchor it now with your agreement. Faith must be released to be realized. So I call you to drive a stake in the ground this very moment. If you believe your season of waiting has truly ended and your finally has arrived, declare it boldly below by writing, I am stepping into my destiny today. As you type these words, know that you are not merely leaving a comment, but signing a decree that all of heaven is standing ready to enforce. Amen.